It's Tanager Football on ESPN 101.5 AM 1570 and online at kvtk.com as we get you set for a big matchup tonight between the Lennox Orioles and the Vermillion Tanagers. As you've heard so far on the pregame show, so much is on the line tonight for these two teams and postseason implications. Vermillion, of course, they need to take care of business tonight, and they need two other games to go their way if they want to make it into the postseason. As we mentioned, Lennox at 1-6 does have a very far outside chance as well. But, of course, they also need to just take care of business and get the win against the Vermillion Tanagers. And bring in John Thayer, now my broadcast partner for tonight. And, John, it goes back to even maybe 2 weeks ago. Bennett County with COVID-19, that game is starting to have even more implications if Vermillion would have played it. If they would have had it, maybe this is a little bit different of a scenario. Nonetheless, they don't play it. They have to go win against Dakota Valley. Last week, they dominate against the Panthers, getting a 48-7 victory, and now having that chance to make the postseason, going against a tough Lennox team. What does this team have to do right and carry over from what we saw last week against the Panthers to get the win tonight?
Well, I mean, this is a game where, look, it doesn't get any bigger than this right now. Like, this is, you're playing for your season. You can't control what happens in other games around the state. All you can control is right in this building on this Thursday night. And last week, if they didn't gain confidence from that, then they won't gain confidence from anything, because this team flat out dominated Dakota Valley in all phases of the game. The offense was clicking. The defense held their assignments, and they executed a game plan. The special teams committed big plays or had big plays to help shift momentum and set things up. It was a total domination of a football game, and Vermillion should feel really, really good about what they did, and they should feel really good now about what they have here against Lennox. That's not to take anything away from Lennox. You play that good in a football game, you should feel good about it.
Vermillion 2-5 on the season. Last time they made the postseason was back in 2014, and there's so many scenarios when you look back at this season for Vermillion coming into tonight of games that they maybe could have won. You look at the Sioux Falls Christian game, if you don't have a couple of key players go down to injuries. But, John, the probably biggest game right now for Vermillion, when you look back on the season, has to be the late touchdown from Tri-Valley. And if you just would have made a defensive stop or just kind of taken Tri-Valley out of that football game in the second half, we're talking about a different scenario.
Well, it's true, and the reality is they've had so many opportunities this season to have a much different record. You look at how well they played against a very good Yankton team that's unbeaten tonight as they enter their final game against Brookings for the regular season. You look at Sioux Falls Christian and opportunities there, Tri-Valley in that game, West Central in this building, they had opportunities to beat. But the reality is this, Heath. You didn't take care of business, and none of that matters now. Mm-hmm. You can't dwell on it, because what you have to do is you have to go out there for tonight, and you have to put everything on the line for this one game, because this game, not the other games, this game is the last chance you have at making any kind of postseason run.
As you mentioned, this is game number 8 out of supposedly 9 games that we were supposed to play this season. Again, only one being canceled because of COVID-19. That was against Bennett County. And you look around the rest of the state of South Dakota, when it comes to Class just 11A, a lot of teams are also at that threshold this season, playing those 7, 8, and a couple of teams as well, playing 9 games. But when it comes to the rest of the state of South Dakota, it has definitely been indifferent when it comes to AAA all the way down to 9-man. John, something I haven't mentioned to you is that flex seed, and I know we talked about it late in our post game against Dakota Valley. How tough is it, not just for Vermillion, but any team, to be that flex seed? And we've seen it with 11B. We've seen it with 9-man, that those teams are getting moved up into playoff implications after they thought their season was over with. How tough is it being down in that spot?
Well, it's tough because you miss the playoffs. That's the reality of it. Like, if you're in a flex position, you miss the playoffs. And you have to hope, and you don't want to do this, you have to hope another team's affected in some way that they can't play. And you don't want to go into that approach. And now the reality of the flex seed is very interesting to me because if a flex team is used, it's not like they reseed everything to fit where that number 9 team in Class A, for instance, they could fill in for the number 2 team. They could fill in for the number 3 team. They don't reseed so that number 9 becomes number 8, which is very interesting. And I don't know. I don't even know if Vermillion has a chance to be that flex seed. Like, we're talking about things so cutthroat right now.
Yep.
They either win and get some help and get into the playoffs, or they lose and they're not even close. Now, if they win and don't get the help, sure, they're probably right knocking on the door. But you still have that hope. You still have that opportunity. And you know what I didn't realize until yesterday when I was looking up this flex seed thing? This could be adjusted all the way up until Wednesday at noon.
Yep.
They may find out at 11 or 10 o'clock next Wednesday. If they don't make it today, they may find out at 10 o'clock in the morning next Wednesday that they're going to play a football game on Thursday, and then it's giddy up and get prepared, right? Like, it's that crazy right now, and it's just the COVID world that we're in. And we've seen the flex seed already used. Esteline Hendricks got a flex seed to move in. Is it 9B, I think? They moved into the spot for Avon, and they only use one, right? You only designate one because now Bison has forfeited a game, and we've seen that already. So in the same class, you've had the flex seed used and a forfeit already in the playoffs for the games scheduled for tonight.
And John mentions cutthroat, and that is what it has been. A lot of these classes, when it comes to 11A and above, you look at AA, everybody's going to make the postseason. When it comes to AAA, everything has been decided. They're just kind of playing a couple of games out for seeding and where they're going to fall at in seeds for the playoffs, with the 2 Rapid City schools already out of it. But when it comes to Class 11A, I mean, we're talking the minimal of seed points, and this is how close it is. You look at Millbank and everybody above, they have 40.0 seed points or above that. Then you get into 8 and below. Custer in that 8th spot with 38.857. Vermillion behind Custer at 38.714. So, I mean, we're talking about a tenth of a point, basically, is all that separates Vermillion from Custer. Lennox is right behind Vermillion. Tri-Valley is also in there at 38.286 seed points. Sioux Falls Christian, Belle-Fourche. In fact, Belle-Fourche is the only team right now in Class 11A that will not make the postseason. They know that, but they still have a chance to go off and knock off a Custer team and finish with a 3-5 record, so you might as well go out there and play. I mean, it's a very cool night. This is why we have gotten to this point in the season. You're not just going to see Belle-Fourche roll over and let Custer make the postseason at all. So that one's going to be a very great game. We are going to see how much we can stay up to date on the scores from around the state of South Dakota. We'll see if we can't even pull up some video and keep up-to-minute scores. But again, the 2 big games that we are watching tonight include not only this one, but also that Belle-Fourche and Custer game. Belle-Fourche has to beat Custer, and also Dakota Valley has to beat Tri-Valley if Vermillion wants to make the postseason. And that all comes on top of Vermillion taking care of business inside the Dakota Dome tonight. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll get you even closer to kickoff. That's on the way on ESPN 1015 AM 1570 and online kvtk.com.
Word member.
It's Tanger Football on ESPN 1015 AM 1570 and online at kvtk.com as we get you even closer to kickoff. As we've mentioned, this is a big matchup tonight between the Vermillion Tanagers and the Lennox Orioles. And we look at from a year ago, a big game between these two teams when Lennox put up 55 points, and it continued that trend of 5 straight games in a row. They began their season at 0-4 last year. They finished the regular season 5-4, got into the playoffs at the 5th seed, and the rest is history. They went all the way to the state championship game, and they would play against Canton, finishing in 2nd place. All right, we're going to take another quick break as we do have our national anthem. When we come back, it's kickoff here on ESPN. It's Tanger Football on ESPN 1015 AM 1570 and online at kvtk.com. In the very beautiful and warm Dakota Dome, we get you set for football action tonight against the Vermillion Tanagers and the Lennox Orioles. This one has such big implications for both teams with an opportunity tonight to make the postseason, as both teams need things to go right for them. But, of course, they both need to find a victory tonight if they even want to make the postseason. And for Vermillion, they are riding high coming into tonight's action. It was a week ago where they got a big victory against Dakota Valley, 48-7. And they'll see if they can continue not only getting the win, but continue to ride and dominate the way they did against Dakota Valley a week ago. We'll see if they can. Vermillion has declined the opening kickoff, so they'll be kicking to Lennox. Vermillion will go on defense, and John, for maybe the first time this season, we are going to see a balanced run and pass, kind of like Vermillion from Lennox. How interesting is that going to be to see tonight?
Well, it provides some challenges for your defense, right? You've got to be able to stop the run. Like last week, they go into that game knowing that for the majority of that game, they had to stop the run, and they stayed sound to their assignments, and they did that. This week's different. You got to stop the run, sure, but you also cannot, give up on the pass, because you're going to be hit from that in both ways. And obviously, both of these teams very excited for this game, and both of them looking forward to opportunities here to try to solidify themselves in the postseason.
Definitely a big opportunity for both teams tonight as Connor Saunders is going to tee it up on the far hash. John mentions the run and pass, and it's going to come from the big quarterback himself of Lennox. Brandon Fudness will be the one to watch as he can do it both. Connor has it teed up. Back to return for Lennox is Steven Christensen and Jackson Alt. The run-up, the squib kick that's going to float past the 30, hit down at the 20, and finally be picked up by Jackson Alt. He's trying to find his way up the numbers to about the 25 before he's wrapped up by a host of tangers as they push him back, but the head officials will mark it at the 25, first down and 10.
Well, here you go. The Vermillion defense is going to get out there first, and they need a stop, right? Get a stop early, kind of like they did last week. You get that stop early, you let your offense go to work, and see if you can put some pressure here on the visiting team.
Brandon Fudness is the quarterback with Ty Spurler right next to him. Now he's going to go in motion. It's going to be a quick little swing pass right over to Ty. Ty catches it on the run. He's going to bounce up the far sidelines and get pushed out right about the 35. And, John, that's exactly what we see from Vermillion.
Well, it is, and we're going to see a lot of similar plays, and that's one where the outside defensive backs, they've got to get off of their blocks and get containment. There might have been a hold on the edge, probably was, quite honestly. You have to be able to sell that better.
First down in 10 as Lennox picks up exactly 10 yards. Shotgun formation for Fudness. Now they're going to run the option to the near side. He keeps it and finally is going to pitch it. Then Ty Spurler drops it, and a bunch of tangers are there. It looks like Connor Saunders was the first one to get down to the turf at the 40, but the officials, 3 of them go in to pull everybody off the pile. No official signal yet. They say it is a fumble on the option play. Vermillion is on top of it. There is a penalty flag down near the first down marker.
Yeah, and they're holding Vermillion from getting their offense onto the field. And this is going to be, okay, it's going to be on the offense. That penalty obviously declined. Huge turnover, and that was created by Sorensen, who came flying through a couple of blocks, and he hit the quarterback. The quarterback was almost blindsided by that. He pitched it late, and that forced the fumble. Now Vermillion an opportunity to strike first.
Fudness, a wide receiver a year ago, got moved into that quarterback position for his senior year. It has been an entire learning curve for him throughout this season. He has done a tremendous job, but that time a costly turnover, and just 26 seconds into the first quarter, Vermillion will take over first and 10 after the Lennox turnover at the 40-yard line. Shotgun formation for Charlie Ward. He's going to put Connor Saunders in motion. Saunders moves all the way behind him. Now Ward back to pass. They're going to go deep over to Jack Kratz. Kratz at the 10 catches it easily. He's wide open, and he's into the end zone, and Vermillion strikes quickly. 33 seconds into the first quarter. They lead it 6-0.
Boy, that didn't take long, and you got to credit the blocking up front for Vermillion. Even the running back, John LaCagnata, everybody locked on to a man, and they just held on until Ward had a chance to deliver the ball. It felt like he was dancing around and had all day. He underthrew that football. If he throws that about 2 yards further, it's in stride, but Jack Kratz able to catch it and get into the end zone.
Connor Saunders on to kick the extra point. It's going to be partially blocked, but does find its way through the uprights. It's good, and Vermillion leads it 7-0, 11:27 first quarter. We're going to step aside for 60 seconds and be back. You're listening to Tantrum Football on ESPN Radio.
Clay County Abstract and Title Company has a complex job that boils down to something very simple: helping you purchase your dream with confidence. When investing in a new home, a new site for your business, or piece of property, you want peace of mind that the property is truly yours. Clay County Abstract and Title Company has been doing just that since 1946. Clay County Abstract and Title Company, proud supporters of Vermillion activities and proud to be a part of your dreams come true.
If you're considering a new roof, you want to put your roof in the hands of Dave's Roofing. Dave's Roofing specializes in residential roofing and has over 10 years of experience. Dave's Roofing covers any job from a 60 to 80 mile radius of Sioux City and has a 10-man crew that completes most jobs in one day. Dave's Roofing will make sure the cleanup job is done right afterwards too. And the products installed are impact rated and eligible for homeowners insurance discounts. Look up Dave's Roofing on Facebook and check out the work that's been done and customer testimonials.
The field, and it's going to be dropped by Lennox, but they're able to get back on top of it. And John, that's something interesting that Lennox tries to pull a trick play on the kickoff and almost gets themselves in trouble.
No doubt, they almost tricked themselves right out of a play, and that would have been really, really bad because Vermillion obviously has come out with a lot of momentum early on in this game, Heath, and what they tried to do was almost a throwback to open things up, hoping for over pursuit, and it was dropped, but lucky for Lennox, they got on it.
Lennox, first down and 10, ball at the 25. Budness has pressure in his face. He's just going to scramble, throws it up in the air, and this one almost makes its way into the seats of the Dakota Dome. And Gary Culver wants a penalty and also shouting a little bit at Cale Mockler. Go back to that. It was Carter Benny, the freshman quarterback, who was the one that threw it across the field. And hopefully we don't see much of his passing because that one wasn't the best.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I don't think Culver wanted a penalty. I think he was talking to the defense about how to wrap up the quarterback so he can't get rid of that. Clearly outside, there's no tackle box, I don't think, in high school football anyways, and he got it back to the line of scrimmage.
Trips to the near side, one wide receiver off to the far side. Budness is looking that way. Now quick little curl route is going to be found. Bryce Stockwell comes up and shuts it down quickly, but a gain of about 9 yards makes it 3rd and 1.
I like Bryce Stockwell. I like the way he plays the game. He just gets after it. We saw him last week block a punt. This time, once his guy catches, he just explodes right after him and made the tackle. Huge stop there, and Vermillion needs it. You know, they need a couple of these big plays, and we'll see if they can keep getting them.
Peyton Ike was the receiver on the last reception. Now direct snap to Budness. He's going to try to take it right up the middle. He got shot in the shoulder by Nick Sorensen. But the quick little sneak right up the middle was going to work for the Lennox Orioles, and they'll pick up a first down. Needing just a yard, they get 2.
Short gain, and now you know there's enough for first down to move the change, but they're not having a lot of success early on. Vermillion has to keep limiting the big play.
2 wide receivers to the near side this time, one off the far. It's going to be a rollout. They're going to find Peyton Ike once again. Ike almost falls over, but is able to keep his balance. Excuse me, that's Jackson Alt who comes up with the catch, and he's able to extend it past the first down marker for 11 yards, and another passing first down for the Lennox Orioles.
I'll tell you what, the quarterback for Lennox, Fodness, he can really zip the football. He throws it well on the run, stand in the pocket. They've had him moving quite a bit here, so a moving pocket, but he throws the ball really, really well. 2
wide receivers to the far side this time. One looked like it might have been emotional too soon. They're going to hand off to Ty Spurler, and Spurler going to get right back to the line of scrimmage before he's bottled up by a couple of tanagers and bring up 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, I really don't think they're going to have a lot of success on the ground game. I think Vermillion figured that out last week and did well defending the run. I don't think that's where Lennox wins this football game. They need to have 4 and 5 wide receiver sets, and they need to confuse DBs if they're going to win.
Lennox has rushed the ball less than 600 yards, so far this season. Only other team to do less than that is the Vermillion Tanagers. Fondness trying to look back to pass. Now he's just going to scramble right up the middle, and Vermillion staying home nicely, able to cover that up quickly. Fondness gets back to the line of scrimmage and extends for a yard, maybe 2. 3rd down and 8.
That was an everybody get to the ball carrier type of deal. About 4 or 5 different guys for Vermillion swarmed the ball carrier. Great effort there to force a 3rd and lengthy situation.
3 wide receivers to the far side, 1 to the near side. It's a common formation that we see from Lennox. Fudness scrambles over to the far side. They're going to throw it. It's going to be picked off right into the hands of a big interception there for the Vermillion Tanagers, and it's 2 quick turnovers right away.
Clayton Sorensen, I believe, was on the it was the interceptor there. He's playing as the defensive back, and they do this rolling pocket fondness, and he either rolls left or rolls right almost every time. You don't see him just get back and stand in the pocket. He rolls one way or the other, and he must not have seen Sorensen that time because they throw it right to him, wide receiver right over the backside of him, but it didn't matter because Sorensen was right there. Vermillion's already capitalized on one turnover. They need to do it again here.
We're less than 4 minutes into the first quarter, and Vermillion will take over first down and 10. Ball at the 49. They've run just one offensive play so far tonight. It went for 40 yards and a touchdown. Charlie Ward back to pass. He's going to scramble, gets past the first down, past a line of scrimmage, and then ducks out of bounds for a 2, maybe 3-yard gain. Let's say second down and 8.
And that was a really good job by John Lacagnotta. He picked up the blitz that time. Unfortunately, Charlie Ward, I thought, went the wrong way. He rolled to the right, and that's the way Lacagnotta was turning his defender, so it didn't allow for a big gain the way maybe it could have been, but nonetheless, they turned it into a positive. Great job to pick up the blitz.
Charlie Ward in shotgun formation. Reese Profrock is the lone wide receiver to the near side. Saunders in motion. Now they're going to swing it over to Saunders in motion. He breaks one tackle past the 40, up to the 30, to 25. He makes contact with another. He wasn't going to avoid it, and he's finally shoved out of bounds at the 17-yard line, and it's a big 30-yard pass for Vermillion.
That's a big-time play, a big-time run. He broke a tackle right at the line to gain, accelerated up the sideline. You're right. He saw the defender trying to lay a hit on him. He just threw a shoulder right into the defender and said, I'll take on that hit. And big first down, a huge play for Vermillion.
Charlie Ward, 2 of 2 for 70 yards. Now they're going to hand it off to Lacagnotta, trying to follow his right guard into the hole. And he's going to follow it for a gain of about 2, maybe 3 yards, and bring up second down and we'll say 6.
Yeah, and he's got to really secure the football. Not that he wasn't that time, but they were trying to rip it out of there. Lennox has turned the ball over 2 times here in this football game. They're going to be trying to get a turnover, especially with Vermillion driving again.
Looking at scores from around the state of South Dakota, haven't seen anything updated yet. But this one's early in this one, 7:38. Vermillion already leads at 7-0. Back to pass, it's going to be Charlie Ward. He chucks it for the end zone, and this one's going to be falling incomplete as Jack Kratz climbed the ladder but couldn't quite come down with it.
Well, it went off of his fingertips, and then he turned parallel and fell down to the ground, and as he was falling, he realized the ball was following in his area. He tried to reach out for it, couldn't quite haul in that football. Unfortunately, it's incomplete, but nonetheless, here we are with Vermillion trying to get into the end zone.
Third down and 7. Ball at the 14. Saunders in motion. Ward back to pass. He has pressure. Now going to scramble over to the far side where he's clean. Going to throw it right over the middle. It's on the ground, and it's going to fall incomplete. Just too low for Reese Profrock to pick it up off the turf.
You know, it looked like he maybe got his hands on it. The problem was his hands met it right as it met the turf, and you're not going to get that completion. Vermillion got lucky there. A big hold by one of the old linemen, and it was missed by these officials. Lennox was yelling for it, didn't get the call. Now Vermillion will try to settle for 3.
31-yard field goal is where Connor Saunders, the left-footed kicker, has it teed up. Jack Kratz is the holder. Snap is clean. It's up, and this one is going to be drifting off to the right, and he consistently hits them in warm up. Consistently hits it in practice, but Connor Saunders just pulls this one a little too far off to the right, and it's a missed opportunity for the Vermillion Tanagers.
Yeah, and unfortunate. You want to get points on that, obviously. You get a turnover. You'd love to see it turn into points, and unfortunately it didn't here for this drive. And we'll see if that hurts Vermillion here in this one. That's a big win for Lennox, holding Vermillion from adding to their lead.
7-0, 7:21 first quarter. Lennox will take over for their third possession. The other two have both gone for turnovers. Funness looking deep downfield, now has to scramble out to the near sideline, trying to juke out Jack Kratz. Not going to do so, and cut down at the knees, but going to pick up 5 yards and make it second down and 5.
Yeah, and that's a play there. That quarterback, you saw he got a little hitch in it as he came up the sideline. He tries to get a little hitch and force, really juke you out is what he's trying to do. And it's important as a defender to stay solid to your tackle.
Trips to the far side, shotgun formation, but they're going to hand it off this time right up the middle, trying to get some space there is Ty Spurler, and he's going to get down to the first down marker and get hit and spins forward. and with the fall, it's enough for the first down for Lennox.
Now, I said they weren't going to get much on the ground against this Vermillion run game, but that will allow the run game to open up when you miss tackles. That's all that happened there. A couple of missed tackles. Otherwise, there wouldn't have been much there on that run try.
Just 15 yards in the rushing attack so far. Fudnish drops back to pass. He's going to chuck it deep. The only one there close to it was Connor Saunders, and you sure don't want to throw it in his territory. Connor Saunders with 5 interceptions, with 2 being returned for a touchdown.
Unfortunately, roughing the passer against Vermillion. They get a personal foul, and that's going to be 15 yards and a first down for the Lennox Orioles. And Coach Gary Culver down the sideline pointing to his head, saying, you got to use your head here. We can't be doing that. And that time they were trying for a deep shot, just overthrew the receiver a little bit. Connor Saunders couldn't quite run it down, and now a penalty against Vermillion. It put Lennox right around midfield.
Fudnish tonight in the ball game is 3 of 5 for 28 yards. First down and 10, ball at the 50. They're going to hand it off to Spurler. He's trying to find some space, but Vermillion has it bottled up nicely with Hunter Lavin even on there, the free safety coming up to make a tackle, and it's going to bring up second down and 10.
Vermillion defense looking for a big stop. They've obviously been able to play well so far in this game, and we've seen Lennox have a little bit of success, but Vermillion defense, they've played really well here the last couple of weeks.
2 wide receivers to the far side. Now they're going to put Ty in motion. It's going to be that quick little swing pass over Ty. Catches it at the 34. Now cuts it up past the 50. Trying to make some space, but has nowhere to go as he finds himself along the far sideline. Going to get pushed out of bounds right at the 46. So it's going to be a gain of about 5 yards, and now bring up a third down and 5.
It's about the perfect play for that defensive alignment. They had Hunter Lavin on the blitz on the near side, and the pass went to the far side of the field, so it took him out of the play, and they just sealed it off, but a big third down here.
Third down. Lennox is 1 of 1 tonight, but again, they have had 2 turnovers. Now the option. Last time they ran it, it went for a fumble, but this time they're going to pitch it. It's going to work for a big first down and more. A pickup of 11 yards as Fudnish kept it perfectly at the last second, able to pitch it off to Ty, and Ty just takes it down to the 34.
Well, there's nobody on the edge for outside containment. Nick Sorensen came flying through there like he did last time, and what the coaches are trying to tell him is you got to have an angle that comes between the quarterback and the ball carrier or the running back. You've got to turn the quarterback to the inside.
5:30 first quarter. Fudnish shotgun formation, back to pass. He's going to chuck it deep over the middle. He has a wide receiver, but just throws it too far for Jackson Alt, and it will fall incomplete.
Well, he took a shot, I think, from Zach Brady as well as he let that thing fly, but he had his receiver open, wide open down the field, and just flat out missed him.
And that is something unusual for the Vermillion Tanagers, including Bryce Stockwell. They call it Stockwell Island because he does such a great job. But Vermillion defensive cornerbacks haven't seen a lot of passing this season. It has just been consistently run. You talk about Tri-Valley, West Central, and many other teams, including T in there, that just really ran the football this season against Vermillion. Second down and 10, ball at the 34. They're going to hand it off once again, trying to get some space, but Vermillion, just as I said, they're so used to the run, shut it down nicely, and we'll bring up now third down and 10 for Lennox.
Update, Heath, in one of the games that you're very interested in. Custer has the early lead on Belle Fourche, 7-0. That's early, obviously, in that football game as they're in the first quarter.
5:01, first quarter here. Vermillion leads it 7-0. Lennox has had 2 turnovers on their first 2 drives, but now on this third drive, it brings up third down and 10, but they have moved the ball nicely. One in motion, Fudnish rolls out very quickly. It's a designed rollout. They try to find a wide receiver, and they're going to do so at the 28, and quickly Hunter Lavin is there to push it out of bounds, and it's not going to be a first down for Lennox. It will bring up fourth down and about 4.
Yeah, and this is 4-down territory for Lennox. It's way too long to try a field goal for a lot of these teams. And at this point, if you fail to convert, you're going to put Vermillion back inside their own 30-yard line. So they're going to try it here on 4th and 4.
Fourth down and 4. Now the official whistles come in as they look over. Oh, there's going to be, I missed the man. Looks like that is Clayton Sorensen, who is tying his shoe right now at the 26. No gloves on, so he's able to quickly tie it. He's ready to go. Officials, they blow the whistle, and we're ready to go. Fourth down and 4. Ball at the 28. design rollout. This one is going to be actually the option play. Funness fakes it, now going to keep it up to 20, then slips as he gets tripped up by the turf monster as he's able to cross over the 15 and get down to the 14 for a big 14-yard pickup and another first down on 4th down.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. Connor Saunders had the angle, and he just lost his footing and slipped and couldn't make the tackle. Lennox, big 4th down conversion. They've got a chance to even this thing up here.
As the rest of the state of South Dakota deals with wet conditions, even here in the Dakota Dome, we're talking about sometimes slipping as well. 4-12 first quarter. Funness back to pass. This time the pressure is on, and it's going to get there. Tyson Haig on it, and Zach Brady going to come to finish it off and get a big sack for Vermillion. They needed that one and bring up now 2nd down and very long.
Funness has been hit a lot in this football game, and we're still early, but seems like he's got constant pressure. His O-line needs to regroup and get things together. You know, we're talking about this Custer-Belfouche game, and you're talking about different field conditions. They have light snow on the field that they're playing on in Custer tonight, so we'll see how things progress there.
3 wide receivers to the far side, 1 to the near. Again, we'll keep you up to date on scores and how Vermillion needs to make it into the postseason. Now a pass that is going to be behind the reach. Steven Christensen didn't even have a chance at it as Funness threw it to where he was, not where he was going.
Well, and these are little quick slant routes, right? And you got your wide receiver out to the edge, and he's just going to do a quick little 3-yard slant route. You're going to catch it and see what you can get out of it. You're right. Quarterback throws it a little bit behind. He tried to reach back. No chance.
3rd down in a country mile. Ball at the 22. Lanks needs to get to the 4. They're going to look for the corner of the end zone. Sorensen doesn't turn around. There's a little push off, and Jackson Alt is able to come up with the football in the end zone. And it's a big response from Lennox. And they now trail it by 1 with the extra point upcoming.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. I thought it was defended extremely well. And then you had 2 bodies come together. And I thought it was just a great adjustment by the wide receiver who came back, found the football, and was able to catch it for the touchdown. That was big.
Big 28-yard touchdown pass on it was 3rd down and 18, and it's going to be Haig that's going to get in there, or excuse me, Jack Kratz who gets in there, blocks the extra point, so Vermillion will preserve the lead with 3:24 in the first quarter. Vermillion 7, Lennox 6. We're back in 60 seconds on ESPN Radio.
So we're buying a bigger home.
A 4-bedroom, but, you know, with room to grow.
Your ocular cavity is malfunctioning.
You know, because we want kids.
Calculating offspring life insurance.
No, wait, we only have a cat.
Calculating farm insurance.
Is there somebody else who can help us?
Only a human who knows you can create a plan that's right for you. That's why for 80 years we've built relationships first and plans second. It's your future. Let's protect it.
Contact Farm Bureau Agent Debbie Profrock in Vermillion at 605-624-3011.
Digital Solutions started a little over 6 years ago doing Facebook Live videos for a couple ball games. And little did we know we'd have the 2020 pandemic and so many reasons for doing live streams on our new YouTube channel. We have 12 schools we cover: Mississippi, South Dakota, and Iowa. And we're always growing. If you're interested in working with FDS as camera operator or play-by-play for the many sports we cover, or if you would like to use our services to live stream your event, email us at fullerdigitalsolutions@gmail.com and subscribe to Fuller Digital Solutions on YouTube.
6 points. The blocked extra point gives Vermillion the 1-point lead right now as we're closing out the first quarter. Kickoff as we're back into action. It's going to be La Cañada who runs over, picks up at the 12, and returns it back down to the 26. And Vermillion has moved the football nicely, but this is the toughest spot they've been put in so far tonight on their 3rd possession on offense. They'll begin 1st down and 10. The other 2, of course, offense possessions have started in plus territory for them because of 2 big turnovers from Lennox. But the 3rd drive results in points, again making it 7-6 as Charlie Ward runs on late to direct the offense. They don't even really huddle. Charlie Ward just says 1 or 2 things, and he's ready. Splits the offense out. It'll be 2 wide receivers to the near side, with 1 Kratz by himself to the far side. It's going to be a quick little wide receiver screen over to Connor Saunders, and penalty flags, 1 at the 35, 1 at the 25. It is a reception of about 7 yards, but let's wait and see when everything comes in for penalties.
Boy, I think with how they were thrown, these are 2 different penalties, but maybe they both saw the same. It's a block in the back, and that was the only signal that we've been given, a block in the back. And that's the hard thing about those swing passes and change of direction. You're just going to see those once in a while.
As you mentioned, it was 2 different penalty flags in 2 different areas. One does get picked up and thrown a little bit closer with a block in the back. Did happen. So that will move Vermillion all the way back to the 16-yard line. It's a loss of 10 yards. And that's Vermillion's second penalty tonight, resulting in 25 yards, getting them in trouble. So first down and 20, ball at the 16 with the clock running, 2:57. 2 wide receivers split to the far side, 1 to the near side. Charlie Ward back to pass, going to go over the middle, and he's going to find his wide receiver, Connor Saunders, and then it's popped loose. No, that was Jack Krantz who fumbles it, and it's going to be picked up by Lennox at the 32-yard line, and Lennox comes up with their own big turnover.
Yeah, and Jack Krantz knew it right away. He was through as the ball came loose. He just put his face mask down to the turf, frustrated with himself. We've already seen Lennox turn the ball over twice. They only scored on Vermillion only scored on one of those. Now the turnover for the Tanagers, and it set Lennox up for an opportunity here to take the lead.
Again, Lennox will now take over. First down and 10. Ball at the 32 with a chance to take the lead. Again, Lennox is also playing for postseason. They need a lot of things to go right for their opportunity, but they need a win tonight. It's a quick little wide receiver screen at Jackson Alt, and Jackson finds some space, and then a late penalty flag is going to come in at the 27-yard line as Jackson got close to the first down marker.
I think it might be a hold. I'm not sure. We'll see. But there's definitely a hold on the edge, and they haven't called it yet. But they are going to call that hold on the edge. They have been allowing the hold to happen. And the way that's obvious for an official is if a defender is trying to turn to the ball carrier and they can't move their body, you're not blocking them. You are holding them, and that's going to be the tell-all every single time. We've seen it a lot tonight. This is the first time it's been called.
And now the officials need to figure out where it needs to be officially marked as they continue to keep pushing Lennox back. They're going to set the ball down now at the 37-yard line. So an official loss of 5 yards after the catch from Jackson Alt. So it'll bring up first down and 15 as Lennox will bring in the tight formation with just 1 wide receiver split to the far side. Pressure once again to Fudness. He drops all the way back to the 50, then just chucks it towards the Lennox student section, and it will go easily out of bounds and incomplete. Second down and 15.
Dialing up the blitzing, getting back in there, trying to disrupt everything. I like the pressure being applied right now by the Vermillion defense.
7-6, 2:21 first quarter. Vermillion striked first, with just 33 seconds into this football game. And before Lennox was able to answer on their last offensive drive, now looking to do so once again. Second down and 15, ball to 25, shotgun formation for Fudness. It's going to be a quick wide receiver screen over to his receiver, Peyton Ike, and Ike quickly tries to turn it upfield, but just gets shoved out of bounds. Gets back to the line of scrimmage, honestly, and that is it. So third down now in 15.
Great job by Bryce Stockwell to get there and shut that down. A couple of score updates. Custer still leading Belfouche. They've just reached the end of one there. And last checked, it was Dakota Valley leading Tri-Valley 3-0.
Again, Vermillion needs Belfouche to win and needs Dakota Valley to win. They need to win, Vermillion does, if they want to grab the 8 seed and the playoffs. It's going to be Fudness. He's going to get hit as he throws, but it's going to be caught over the middle by Jackson Alt for a big first down. Again, on third down and long, Lennox is able to get into the red zone on a big passing play.
Well, that was just a really good play. The quarterback standing in, taking the hit, and delivering a throw. Vermillion has just missed on a couple of opportunities to get in there and sack the quarterback. The other score I forgot to mention for you, Heath, your Philadelphia Eagles, Giants, they're underway. Carson Wentz just ran for a conversion on 4th and 1. So they still got the ball.
1-4-1. You know the Eagles are going to make the postseason. 7-6 here. It's going to be a quick little reverse that's going to be almost working for something, but Vermillion reads it nicely. And it's going to be Lennox who picks up a nice little 5-yard gain on it.
I like a handoff to the running back who then flipped it forward to the wing back or the tight end coming around. And it's just a counter play, essentially, is what it is. and you just have to stay home. Vermillion did so good last week staying home defensively. Got to do a better job on that play.
Hayden Spielman with a carrier for 5 yards, 2nd down and 5. Ball at the 11, though. 2 wide receivers, the option this time coming for Futness. He's going to just try to take it up, find some space, but it's closed down quickly by the 2 big linebackers, Jack Kratz and Nick Sorensen. It is a gain of about 3 yards, so make it a manageable 3rd down and 2.
Yeah, here's what I like about Futness running that option play is that time he didn't try to do too much. He saw a little window, and he accelerated through it, trying to get as many yards as he can, and I think that's a really good way to run that option play.
2 wide receivers to the far side, 1 to the near side. Lennox does have to run another play before the end of quarter. It's going to be a fake little throw over to the far side, and Futness just tries to go up the middle himself, but it's going to lose a yard and going to make it 4th down and 3.
Yeah, you know they're probably going for it here, right? I don't know what they have for a kicking situation. Maybe they'll bring out a kicker. They're discussing it over there. But 4th down, they're going to wait till the next quarter before they make that decision, allow themselves a little more time to figure out what play exactly they want to run on 4th and 3. And we'll see that. 4th and 2. We'll see that in the second quarter.
Ball will be officially spotted at the 8. We're going to flip the side of the field, and we come back. Lennox tries to pick up a big 4th down. That's on the way in 60 seconds on ESPN 1015 AM 1570.
Our radio family is growing. Now you can listen to all of the Vermillion Tanagers broadcast on 2 stations, 1015 FM and AM 1570. When the Tanagers are playing, tune in to either 101.5 FM or AM 1570 to catch the voice of the Tanagers, Heath Nimke, for every play. In addition, we invite you to listen to all of our ESPN programming. We thank you for listening and our radio sponsors that allow us to broadcast all of the Vermillion Tanager sports on ESPN 1015 FM and AM 1570.
Midwest Ready Mix Equipment's Vermillion.
We rent out and operate dozers, excavators. We also have aerial equipment.
Dave Hertz, Midwest Ready Mix.
We got telehandlers, payloaders, skid loaders, just a lot of different equipment that we rent and we sell it too. And you can rent to buy. And you end up having it for 6 months. We'll give you a buyout option on that thing.
Call Dave Hertz, Midwest Ready Mix and Equipment. Vermillion. Easy to work with and not hard to find.
Trying to pick up a big 4th down, and they will decide to keep the kicking team off as they're trying to pick up just 2 yards. It'll be Futness in shotgun formation as we begin the second quarter. He's going to quickly look on the slant pass. It's going to be caught, and in for the touchdown is Steven Christensen. They drew it up at the quarter break, and they come out perfectly, and they take the lead over the Vermillion Tanagers 12-7, just 6 seconds in to the second quarter.
That's a good play, and that's really hard to defend because if that receiver gets to the inside of that defensive back, which he did on Reese Profrock, he gets to the inside. That slant pattern is wide open. You needed 2 yards for the first down. They got the touchdown, and Lennox has the advantage. They're going to try the 2-point conversion now.
Might as well. The last one was blocked with an extra point. They attempt the 2. They're going to hand it off to Ty Spurler. He just lurches forward right there at the goal line. They say no good. So Lennox leads it over Vermillion 12-7. We'll see if those extra points missed in 2-point conversions come back later in this football game. We're back in 60 seconds on ESPN 1015 AM 1570.
Make space for tall items. Quickly and easily move the bins side to side for convenient storage options. The Flexi Slide Bin. Brought to you by Whirlpool.
Pump up your car, coolers, and tummy with Pump and Pack in Vermillion. Whether you're coming or going, we are here for you when you need us, with what you need. Grocery items, beer, snacks, fuel, wine, hot dogs, pizza by the slice, and now for real ice cream smoothies and shakes, cookie dough, strawberry banana, and even mocha latte. We are open when you need us 24 hours a day with what you need at Pump and Pack on West Cherry Street in Vermillion.
After the kickoff, that Lacaniata just has to fall right back on top of it as he fumbles it. Vermillion will take over first down and 10. Ball will be at the 15-yard line, and they need to respond back in a big way, Vermillion, as Lennox has now scored 12 unanswered points, and they lead it 12-7. John, you have a score update for us?
I got Custer still leading Belle-Fourche. Belle-Fourche deep in Custer territory. Del Rapids leading T area 7-0 at the end of one.
That's going to be a big game. Of course, T trying to lock up the #1 seed. Del Rapids right now, when it comes to this postseason, what they're looking at, they find themselves in the 5th spot after they started their season at 5-0. They have kind of fallen on a little bit of a tough streak, so they're seeing if they can't bounce back. It would be a big win if they can against T. 2nd down and 9 for Vermillion as we're back into action. It'll be Connor Saunders who will go in motion. They're going to get the quick little screen over to Saunders. He just has to get upfield. Will finally do so, but then another fumble, and Lennox is going to fall right back on top of it. And 2 big fumbles by Jack Kratz and Connor Saunders, both on receiving, or I should say receptions, and now fumbles. Is going to give Lennox a great opportunity and plus territory.
And this is a simple case of just not securing the ball. The ball's being held onto by one hand, and all they're trying to do when they go to tackle, they're putting a hand on the ball and just pulling, trying to pull the defender at you, at the tackler, and it's ripping the ball free. And now the Vermillion defense has to stand up big. They are the momentum. It looked like it was all Vermillion early on, and it's completely shifted.
12-7. Now the pitch play. Now Ty is just going to chuck it, and that one almost hits a gal who's taking pictures for Del Rapids. That's how far out of bounds it was, and will fall incomplete.
That was an option pass, and they ran the option play to the right side, pitched it out to the quarterback. They had their guy open, but he had a little bit of pressure, and he just let it sail a little bit long.
11-07. Again, Lennox on 12 unanswered points after Vermillion scored just 33 seconds into this football game, making it 7-0. 2 wide receivers to the far side, one to the near side. Funness back to pass. He's going to roll out right away. Cale Mockler trying to get a hold. Nothing's going to be called. And now wide open once again is Christensen at about the 16-yard line. It's going to be a pickup of 9 yards, making it 3rd down and 1.
Yeah, Cale Mockler's angry, and I don't blame him. He's still talking to the official. He was trying to turn his body, and he couldn't. And they're just not calling much for holding, and they're allowing Lennox to do it. And you know what? If you're Lennox and they're allowing it, keep doing it. Keep trying to hide it as best you can. And Vermillion's got to find a way. Cale Mockler's got to find a way to break free on that, some kind of swim move, chop move, whatever, to get that arm free.
3rd down and 1. Ball at the 16. And now it's going to be Lennox who tries to go on 2. They're going to get Vermillion to jump.
Yeah, it's interesting. I didn't see anybody jump on Lennox side. I thought the Vermillion player got back defensively, but they're going to call it an offsides and a first down. You can't give up free first downs like that.
It is the 3rd penalty now on Vermillion. It is the 2nd one that has given Lennox a first down. So mark it all the way up to the 11-yard line. 1st down and 10. Lennox will need to get down to the 1 to pick up a first down, but they're looking for the touchdown. They're going to throw it over to Christensen. A jump ball. Reese Profrock is behind it, and it's going to come down with Christensen. And it's another quick touchdown for the Lennox Orioles, and they lead it now 18-7 in the 2nd quarter.
You want to win football games. This is exactly what you have to do. Turn turnovers into points, and Lennox has done that. Vermillion did on 1 of 2 turnovers. Lennox has now turned both Vermillion turnovers into points, and that's how they've taken the lead now, 18-7, pending the extra point.
And this time, Lennox is going to come on to kick the extra point. It looks like they might be missing somebody.
Yep.
They are.
They have to take a timeout.
And we will take the break with them. We'll be back in 30 seconds after this Culligan water break on ESPN 1015 AM 1570 and online at kvtk.com.
Vermillion Medical Clinic has an ongoing mission to provide areas with quality health care and convenient access to medical professionals. Our patients at Vermillion Medical Clinic value our dedicated primary care physicians, compassionate PAs, and consistently scheduled outreach specialty care. If you have health questions, need a screening, or have medical concerns for yourself or family members, call us for an appointment or visit VermillionMedicalClinic.com. So much care, so close to home.
Lennox gets everything sorted out that they needed to, and they'll come on to kick the extra point. Again, they've missed the extra point in a two-point conversion, and now another one that is going to sail too low and going to be missed. So Lennox has not gotten an extra point or a two-point conversion yet. They lead it 18-7 over the Vermillion Tanagers. And John, Vermillion, they need to find their way back into this football game.
Their thing is simple here. They just got to hang on to the ball. They're moving the ball fine. They're doing a lot of things well. The problem is they're putting their defense in bad spots. They've fumbled the ball twice, and that's given Lennox great field position. And the guys committing the fumbles are your top guys, your playmakers. It's Jack Kratz, it's Connor Saunders. Those guys simply got to hang on to the football, and they know that. Still a lot of time, obviously, left in this football game. We're only in the second quarter. And Vermillion gets the ball to start the second half. A lot of time in this football game. So don't get discouraged. Keep after it and get yourself back into it here.
As you mentioned, there is still plenty of time as Ethan Eli will tee it up to kick it off for Lennox at the 40. Puts a big swing of the leg into it, bounces past Lacaniata, and he's going to have to chase after it all the way down to the 2. Finally picks up to the 10, tries to go through some contact, not going to be able to fight it off, and Lennox with about 5-6 different guys there to wrap up Lacaniata at the 15, and it will bring up first down and 10 for Vermillion. Again, the past two drives for the Tanagers have both ended in fumbles from Jack Kratz and Connor Saunders, both after they had the reception, then contact made and fumbling it. So that is something Vermillion needs to stop right now and see if they can't move it. The officials are going to put it actually at the 14 with 10:47 second quarter. Charlie Ward is going to bring his offense out, and this time they're going to huddle up, have a quick conversation, and break huddle. Reese Profrock and Connor Saunders to the far side. Or excuse me, Jack Kratz and Profrock to the far side. Saunders to the near side with Cale Mockler now in motion. It's going to be a quick little slant right over the middle to Jack Kratz, who comes up with the reception of a nice 6-yard gain and bring up 2nd and 4.
Yeah, that's exactly what you got to do. Just go back to your playmakers. They made some mistakes. Go right back to them. Get back to your game plan and get your guys confident in this football game.
2nd down and 3. Ball to 21. Quick little handoff this time to Lacaniata. Lacaniata is going to bounce it out past the numbers, trying to get up the first down, and it looks like he's going to get just enough, 4 yards, and pick up a first down that Vermillion needed. And John, as well, you have so much time on the clock that you would like to use some of it and put together that good drive.
Well, that's all you can do. You don't have to worry about the time on the clock. You've just got to sustain a drive and get your confidence back in your offense. We've seen this offense play very, very good football throughout this season. Get them confident.
Shotgun formation, high snap. It's going to be pulled down by Ward and quickly hands it off to Lacaniata as he follows his blockers, finds some space up to the 33 before he is taken down. Another nice 6-yard gain from John Lacaniata. We have continued to see him build on success this season. We saw about week 3, week 4, kind of that dual running back between Lacaniata and Jeremy Crow, but after some mistakes by Crow, Lacaniata has taken over. Now in motion, it's going to be Saunders. It's just going to be a pitch from Ward to Saunders, and Saunders trying to find some space, and now the football is loose once again. We'll wait for the official call. Did Saunders get back on top of it?
They're calling forward progress, I believe. They're either saying forward progress or that he was down, because where they jumped on the ball was back at the 32. They're putting this football at the 37-yard line, so they are stopping. I believe they stopped it because of forward progress. That is very, very close to a first down. And they may they may try to measure this. I don't know. They're going to respot it on the far numbers, and the official try to use eagle eyes from across the field to see if it's a first down, and they're going to go with third down and short.
Third down and short, which means it's going to be the tight formation. Vermillion has always picked up a first down, and this time is always like the others. Ward goes forward. He takes a step back first, waits to see the push from his offensive line, then follows that push that he sees a little opening, and again just picks up the 1 yard they needed and get the first down and 10. Ball will be spotted at the 38-yard line, and they'll spread things out once again. First down and 10 with 2 wide receivers to the near side. Profrock on an island by himself. Shotgun formation. Ward quickly on the wide receiver screen over to Connor Saunders. Saunders has to try to cut it upfield, but he's going to get the ankle tackle and be tripped up for a 3-yard gain.
In other games that we've been watching, Belle Fourche has the ball again. They have tied that game up against Custer. That's 7 each. They're in the second quarter, about 4 minutes left in that second quarter. Del Rapids leading T area still 7-0. Dakota Valley on top of Tri-Valley 11-0.
18-7 here, and again, Vermillion wants to make the postseason. They need a couple things to go right for them, but again, they need to win here in the Dakota Dome, and now a false start. And after such a clean game last week against Dakota Valley when it comes to penalties, Vermillion now sees their 4th.
Yeah, and you just can't. They just had silly things happen in this football game, and silly things that you absolutely can't have. And so they've got to clean things up, and you got to do it in a hurry. We talked about it in the pregame, Heath. You're playing for your season right now. There may not be another game, but you have to win. So they just need to get it together.
2 wide receivers now to the far side. Kel Mockler going in motion. It's going to be to the running back, Lacaniata. Lacaniata going to use his quick legs, just bursting forward past the 43 and into a pile following Zach Brady. His lineman falls down at the 45 and will bring up a manageable 3rd down and 3 after a big pickup for the Vermillion Tanagers.
Amazing how this game started. You think about it, Lennox turned the ball over twice. Vermillion only scored on 1 of those. Then all of a sudden Vermillion starts turning the ball over. Now Lennox is up 18-7. It's like a game of hot potato here.
Yeah.
You're just trying to get it together. 3rd down and 3 for Vermillion.
Kratz stands on the near hash. Saunders at the near numbers. And Profrock all the way at the far numbers. And now this time, Vermillion is going to go on to. They get the entire defensive line to jump, and that's going to be a big first down for Vermillion on 3rd down and 3.
Yeah, that's go on that hard count. See if you can get a jump. They did, and move the chains. Now go back to your offense, reset it. Whether that's hand of the ball to Lacaniata up the middle, the quick passes to either side, whichever that may be. You get Connor Saunders and Jack Kratz both wide to the right side right now. They could adjust here as they get the play call, but that's 2 dangerous guys on the same side of the field.
We've now gone over 3 minutes on this drive for Vermillion, and the ball just at the 50. They are taking their time, and nothing wrong with that. Pressure right away to Ward. He's going to get spun down, and it's going to be a big sack all the way back to the 36-yard line, as this time it's Cole Benning in there to get the big sack for Lennox.
Yeah, nothing that Charlie Ward could do that time. I think Lacaniata missed a block trying to pay. He didn't pick up the blitz, and it was an untouched blitzing backer that came flying in there. And Charlie Ward was being spun around before he could even, basically as he grabbed the football, so he didn't have any time. That's a big loss. Now, 2nd long. You don't need it all right now, but you need a chunk play.
2nd down and 20 after the 10-yard sack. It's going to be Ward back to pass. They're set the screen, and Lennox read it perfectly. It's beyond the reach, nonetheless, of Lacaniata, but even if Lacaniata had caught that, Lennox saw it coming.
Yeah, Lennox is blitzing extra guys right now, and they're blitzing so many guys that Vermillion's struggling to pick up the blitz at the moment. It's forcing quick passes, and that's just something that you got to figure out a play call. Usually the screen works that time, but that was a screen that went to the far side, and it just strung out way too long.
6:31 second quarter. Back to pass again. Charlie Ward pump fakes one. Stands in the pocket. Has plenty of time. Continues to scramble around. Looking downfield. Now he's just going to try to take off himself, which isn't going to work on 3rd down and 20. He never even gets back to the line of scrimmage. Another loss of 5 yards, and it brings up 4th down and forever.
Yeah, nobody would get open downfield. That's a good coverage sack for Lennox. And Cale Mockler was holding his arm out thinking he was open. He had a defender right on him. Got to come back to the football. All those guys were trying to get to the first down marker, and I get it. But at some point, you have to come back to the football when your quarterback is scrambling, and you have to try to get yourself open, then turn upfield and try to get the first down.
The first 33 seconds into this football game, Vermillion led it 7-0. It's been unanswered 18 points from Lennox as Connor Saunders punched this one away back to Jackson Alt. He catches it at the 32, trying to turn it upfield, but Lacanyatta able to chase him down from behind, pulls the jersey, and Jackson will go down at about the 37-yard line. John, defense needs to make a stop right now.
Yeah, they do, and they've been put in some bad situations so far here in this game. You got to figure things out because you're down 2 scores at the moment. You don't want to go down 3. It's going to put a lot of pressure on you, but at the end of the day, they have to step up and get a stop, re-energize the offense, and just kind of get things in order here.
Funness in the Lennox offense takes their time. So again, first down and 10, ball to 37, 5:35, second quarter. The little counter play, trying to get it, and it's going to go right up the middle as it works nicely. Then the football is going to come out loose late. Who's going to get to it? It's still loose, still on the ground, and it's going to be finally picked up by Lennox. The pile continues to move forward. My goodness, finally getting on top of it is Chase Langenben, and he's going to fall all the way down to the 34. As mentioned, a hot potato. Nobody wanted that one, and Lennox, after a broken play, comes up with a big first down.
Yeah, everybody trying to get it. I think a Vermillion player had it in his hands, couldn't quite secure it. A lineman for Lennox had it in his hands. He couldn't secure it. Finally, they get on it. Right now, Lennox is catching all the breaks, and you've got to find a way to shut it off.
A big 36-yard play from Lennox sets up first down, ball at the 34. Now Funness is going to go deep over the middle. That one is back behind Jackson Alt. He corrects himself, but it's going to fall just incomplete as he can't correct himself all the way to come up with the catch.
Yeah, he was wide open, and that's just a bad throw by Fodness. You got to throw that to the inside of the field. He threw it back shoulder, and that forced the receiver to have to adjust his entire body. If he throws that to the inside, there was broken coverage. He was wide open, and that was going to be 6 points.
Second down and 10, ball at the 34, 4:57 first half. 2 wide receivers to the far side. They're going to hand it off to Ty Spurler, but he's going to have nowhere, as that's perfectly read by Jack Kratz. The middle linebacker just standing there right in the middle, waiting for Ty to come into his area and cuts him down. And it's going to be a gain of nothing, so third down and 10. Lennox has picked up 2 big third downs this evening, including third down and 18, third down and 14, and they've also picked up a fourth down and 2 that was actually a touchdown. Now they take their time, letting the clock run as they look over to the sideline, might use a timeout. They do have 2 remaining as Matthew Lucy, nothing calling. In fact, he is standing next to the official. They are going to burn a timeout, but they're going to use as much clock as they possibly can. Continue to let this one wind all the way down to 4:10 before Matthew Lucy calls the timeout. We'll take the Culligan water break with them. We'll be back in 60 seconds. You're listening to Tanager Football on ESPN 1015 AM 1570.
Clay County Abstract and Title Company has a complex job that boils down to something very simple: helping you purchase your dream with confidence. When investing in a new home, a new site for your business, or piece of property, you want peace of mind that the property is truly yours. Clay County Abstract and Title Company has been doing just that since 1946. Clay County Abstract and Title Company, proud supporters of Vermillion activities and proud to be a part of your dreams come true.
If you're considering a new roof, you want to put your roof in the hands of Dave's Roofing. Dave's Roofing specializes in residential roofing and has over 10 years of experience. Dave's Roofing covers any job from a 60 to 80 mile radius of Sioux City and has a 10-man crew that completes most jobs in one day. Dave's Roofing will make sure the cleanup job is done right afterwards too. And the products installed are impact rated and eligible for homeowners insurance discounts. Look up Dave's Roofing on Facebook and check out the work that's been done in customer testimonials.
Action here inside the Dakota Dome as Lennox on third down and 10, able to get a big passing play of 9 yards, down to the 25, so it will set up 4th down and 1. And they are going to go for it with 4:02 in the second quarter. Again, they have picked up a 4th down already tonight. They'll look to do so once again. 2 wide receivers split to the far side, 1 to the near side. Lucy, shotgun formation. He's going to run right forward, and he's easily going to pick up the 1st down as he gets down to the 22-yard line.
Yeah, that was just, you go back to that 3rd down. It was a good play as a rollout to the right side. Talked about they put their quarterback in a rollout one way or the other. A lot of pressure, a lot of guys coming after it, but the receiver came back to his quarterback and made the play. And I'll tell you what, he made a heck of a play on that sideline. He caught it and really had to dance his toes back to get him in bounds to make that a completion.
1st down and 10. Ball at the 22. 1 in motion is Jackson Hall, but they're going to look right over the screen, or excuse me, the slant that goes to Christensen. Christensen pushes off 1, dives for the pylon, and he's going to be pushed out right at the 1 as he makes a good attempt to get the touchdown, but he's going to be just short on the 21-yard reception.
Yeah, Lennox in on their field goal unit, their extra point unit. They thought they scored there. He did a great job diving for the pylon. I believe they think he stepped out at about the 1 before as he started his dive, that he had stepped out of bounds.
So 1st down and goal. Ball marked at the 1. 3:33, second quarter. It will be Christensen who just continues to find success. Already 2 receiving touchdowns against Vermillion. Almost had his 3rd. And shotgun formation is Fudness. It's going to be just a little slant, or excuse me, a little counterplay almost, just a little pitch that's going to be bottled up nicely by Vermillion with a big hit from Zach Brady.
No, that was Nick Sorensen is who it was, and it was a shovel pass forward, and he read it. Boy, he planted the guy. He thought that was a 2-point conversion. He thought they already scored because he made that hit, and he started walking off to the sideline and realized that there wasn't a touchdown. So I think everybody but the officials thought that that was a score.
18-7. Lennox, 18 unanswered points. Brings up second goal, ball at the 2. Fudness, shotgun formation. Once again, they're going to fake the handoff. Fudness keeps himself right up the middle, and this time Lex is able to get in with a big rushing touchdown, and they make it 24-7, 2:51, second quarter.
Yeah, I'm surprised by this. I'll be honest. I thought this would be a really good football game back and forth, but both teams have made mistakes, and Lennox has capitalized on more of those mistakes. Vermillion has to figure things out quickly because they don't want to get in any bigger of a hole.
High snap going to be pulled down, and this extra point is finally good. It's made by Lennox, and they extend their lead. Now 25 unanswered points. They lead it 25-7. We're back in 60 seconds on ESPN.
So we're buying a bigger home.
A 4-bedroom, but, with room to grow.
Your ocular cavity is malfunctioning.
Because we want kids.
Calculating offspring life insurance.
No, wait. We only have a cat.
Calculating farm insurance.
Is there somebody else who can help us?
Only a human who knows you can create a plan that's right for you. That's why for 80 years we've built relationships first and plans second. It's your future. Let's protect it.
Contact Farm Bureau Agent Debbie Profrock in Vermillion at 605-624-3011.
Digital Solutions started a little over 6 years ago doing Facebook Live videos for a couple ball games. And little did we know we'd have the 2020 pandemic and so many reasons for doing live streams on our new YouTube channel. We have 12 schools we cover: Mississippi, South Dakota, and Iowa. And we're always growing. If you're interested in working with FDS as camera operator or play-by-play for the many sports we cover, or if you would like to use our services to live stream your event, email us at fullerdigitalsolutions@gmail.com and subscribe to Fuller Digital Solutions on YouTube.
By Jeremy Crow. He's got some space past the 35 and up to the 40 before he's taken down at the 42, but catches that with a head of steam, and it's going to be a big return from Jeremy Crow, and hopefully that gives some momentum to Vermillion. 2:44, second quarter. It's been 25 unanswered points from Lennox. Vermillion does come out with 3 timeouts remaining, but they just need to put together a drive and get some kind of points here. As Charlie Ward will come into the huddle, will quickly say his 1 or 2 words and split his offense out. Reese Profrock will go out to numbers on the far side. Connor Saunders at the numbers on the near side. Everybody else in tight. They're going to hand it off right away to Lacaniata. Lacaniata follows some blockers forward, and a big 10-yard gain right away on 1st down and 10 from Lacaniata and the Vermillion Tanagers as they get it across the 50.
They need somebody to just kind of be the guy that gets him going, and it very well could be Lacaniata trying to carry defenders that energizes this team.
Shotgun formation once again for Charlie Ward. Pump fakes once. Now he's going to throw it deep to Connor Saunders. Saunders right at the sideline, tiptoes his way in, and he catches it at the 21 before he ducks out at the 20. Another big play of 28 yards and another 1st down.
Huge play. That time you go to the run, 1st down, you get a little play action, and you just let your playmaker get down the sideline. Big play. Vermillion looking to close the gap here.
2:18 second quarter. They're moving the football down quickly inside the red zone. Ward has to step up in the pocket as he avoids the pressure. Now dumps off to Lacaniata. Lacaniata around the sideline. He stepped out there. Oh, my goodness, as he plants a Lennox Oriole of Lane Cooper. But unfortunately for Lacaniata, as he stepped out back at the 8-yard line.
Boy, I must have lost where he was on the field. I didn't realize he was that close to the sideline.
I didn't think so either.
When he ran into that defender, and then he kind of bounced off to the right a little bit and then accelerated. That's unfortunate because he ran another guy over to get in the end zone.
1st down and goal, as it was an 11-yard reception. They're going to look right back on the wide receiver screen. It's going to work perfectly as Connor Saunders easily falls in 2-3 different blocks, and it's a touchdown for Vermillion as they answer back immediately. 52 seconds after the Lennox touchdown, Vermillion now makes it their first touchdown since the first quarter, making it 25-13.
Yeah, big drive. That's how you build your confidence. You get your guys right down the field and you score. Now they're going to try the extra point to get to 14 here, down 25-13 at the moment, trying the extra point.
And if we know anything about Vermillion, it's don't think this one's over with yet. They can come back. They have done it all season long. Extra point is easily through the uprights, and now it makes it just a 9-point game. Lennox leads it over Vermillion, 25-14. We step aside. We'll be back in just a moment here on ESPN 101.5 AM 1570.
Radio family is growing. Now you can listen to all of the Vermillion Tanagers broadcast on 2 stations, 101.5 FM and AM 1570. When the Tanagers are playing, tune in to either 101.5 FM or AM 1570 to catch the voice of the Tanagers, Keith Nimke, for every play. In addition, we invite you to listen to all of our ESPN programming. We thank you for listening and our radio sponsors that allow us to broadcast all of the Vermillion Tanager sports on ESPN, 101.5 FM and AM 1570.
Midwest Ready Mix Equipment for Vermillion.
We rent out and operate dozers, excavators. We also have aerial equipment.
Dave Hertz, Midwest Ready Mix.
We got telehandlers, payloaders, skid loaders, just a lot of different equipment that we rent and we sell it too. And you can rent to buy. And you end up having it for 6 months. We'll give you a buyout option on that thing.
Call Dave Hertz, Midwest Ready Mix and Equipment. Vermillion. Easy to work with and not hard to find.
Touchdown, making it 25-14, 2:03 here in the second quarter, and it's going to just be a high kick that kind of like a squib attempt, maybe a little bit of onside. It's dropped by Lennox before finally picked up once again by Andrew Doherty, and he's going to get it down to about the 33. Will be 1st down and 10. Lennox has just one timeout with 1:57 remaining in the second quarter.
Yeah, it's kind of a little pooch kick is what it is, and it forces one of those up guys who came crawling up thinking Vermillion might try something cute, forces him to run back and catch it over the shoulder, which he fumbled, and nobody was able to get there for Vermillion.
1st down and 10, ball at the 33. It's going to be Lennox who throws a quick little running back screen out of the backfield to Ty Spurler as he tries to cut it upfield. Doesn't really have too much room as he just ran himself out of real estate in a gain of about 3 yards in 2nd and 7.
Yeah, quick little pass, trying to get anything. And right now, I think Lennox is happy with where they're at. They need to keep the gas on the gas pedal here, the foot on the gas pedal, trying to move down. It almost looks like they're playing conservative. Vermillion still has 3 timeouts.
2 wide receivers to the far, 1 to the near. This time they're going to bring out the option, and it's going to be Futness, who has plenty of room, and now he's going to duck out of bounds at the 48 as he picks up a nice 14 yards and a big first down.
Yeah, big hold, big hold, and Nick Sorensen couldn't get around his defender, number 1, and then there was a hold on the edge. You could see the jersey being pulled. The officials didn't want to call it. We haven't seen holding called a lot, and I believe it's happening a lot. Nonetheless, it's a first down, and you've got to find a way to fight through that if you're the defense.
Futness ducking out of bounds will stop the clock at 1:19. Now 3 wide receivers are going to try to work the wide receiver screen. That's going to work nicely before a big tackle comes in from Bryce Stockwell along with Nick Sorensen. Another quick game, and this time it's going to be Andy Holman who is going to use his timeout with 1:08 remaining in the first half.
Yeah, I think he's wanting to get the football back, but the problem is you're stopping the clock for a team that's now moved on your side of the field. So got to be a little bit careful of that. He's stopping the clock and telling his guys, you get another big stop or a lost play, we've got a chance to get the football back and a chance to close the gap even further in this first half. But Vermillion choosing to use the timeout there. They have 2 remaining.
1:08. 25-14. What do you got for us, Sean?
And let's see, other scores. Well, that one is in a commercial break. So let me run to the score app, which I thought I had open. Last checked, Del Rapids leading T-Area 7-0. They are at halftime.
Wow.
Dakota Valley at halftime leads Tri-Valley 11-0. Belfouche and Custer are still tied at 7. They also are at halftime. West Central 7, Canton 6 right now in the second quarter. The other one, Sioux Falls Christian with a 7-0 lead over Madison.
Weather conditions might be playing a factor into low scoring, except for here where it's beautiful and 72. Back to pass, Futness is going to go for the home run ball. It's a jump ball between Reese Profrock and Christensen. Who comes up with it? They're going to say it's Reese Profrock. That one, how about you just flip the coin? Because Christensen and Profrock both went up, both came down, and they say it's a big interception.
Yeah, they must have saw Profrock get himself in a good position. I almost thought it was a simultaneous catch, which usually goes to the offensive player, but they must have felt like Reese Profrock got himself in good enough position that he was able to get that interception, and then the wide receiver tied up the football. Now what does Vermillion do? 57 seconds left. They're down by 9 points. They've got 94 yards to go?
93.
93? Well, I don't know if they're on the 6 or 7. I can't see from here. But 93 yards to go. You need a big play here. Now let's see what happens.
And they can get the big play. They're going to quickly run the running back screen by Locken Yada as he had to kind of his hand pull at the face mask a little bit as he's able to get up to the 14. And it'll be second down and about 3 as the officials say it's going to be a timeout quickly called by Vermillion. And as we know, John, the big play can come from Vermillion at any time. And who needs to have the big play right now when it comes to wide receivers?
Well, they're trying to set it up right now. You get the short passes, you try to suck the defense up, and then you throw it deep to either Connor Saunders or Jack Kratz. But what you want to see is those two guys somewhere, or Reese Profrock. He's capable enough as well. But you want to see those guys get out there and mix up one of the sides of that defense and see if you can get one of those speedsters open. They only have 1 timeout remaining, which means for the remainder of this 49 seconds, if you work the middle of the field, you only get 1 chance to stop the clock. Don't be surprised if they take some shots down the sideline. But I'll tell you, with 49 seconds left, you still got a timeout. If you got that big shot open down the middle of the field, take your chance at hitting that and see what happens.
Just 13 passing so far. I should say just 8 of 13. For Charlie Ward, 135 yards tonight. Does have 2 big touchdown strikes. The 2 scores. Again, 49 seconds. Second quarter, Lennox leads it over Vermillion, 25-14. It's going to be Kratz and Saunders to the near side with Profrock all by himself to the far side. It's going to be Ward looking that way. He's going to go over, though, to Saunders, who runs across the field. Saunders trying to duck out of bounds. He's not going to get there as he's able to get up to the 30. It's a 16-yard gain, and Vermillion quickly back to the line. They know they have to hurry as the clock continues to run. 35 seconds. Two wide receivers to the near side. Ward finally back to pass once again. He's looking for something. Now looking. Continues to pump fake. He's just going to take off himself, and he's going to duck out of bounds, stop the clock, but that wastes a big 23 seconds just for a 3-yard gain.
Well, and the waste of the time was you throw the ball to a crossing route to Saunders going right to left from the offense. He has to come all the way back over to the right side to set up. You've got to get your offense set up. He could set up on the other side. Lennox was being very, very slow to get back defensively. Get set and snap the ball and get a free 5 yards.
23 seconds. Second quarter. Back to pass once again. Vermillion just one timeout remaining. They're going to look over to the near side this time. They're going to catch it to Connor Saunders, who almost goes towards the contact before ducking out of bounds, but he does so at the 49, and another big 15 yards with 16 seconds remaining, and Vermillion has it at the 49. They're quickly back to the line of scrimmage once again. Again, the clock did stop. Vermillion still that one timeout. Two wide receivers to the near side. Profrock, the far wide receiver. It's going to be Ward. Pressure in his face. He has to try to scramble around. He's getting pulled down. Now just going to chuck it over to La Cañada, who does catch it and then gets hit late. And it's going to be a penalty flag wanted by Andy Holman, and he's going to get nothing. And 9 seconds remaining in this first half.
Ooh, that was awful close, and they're going to say that he was hit just inside before getting out to the sideline. Andy Holman thought his guy got to the sideline before he was blasted from behind, but they're not going to get it. That would have been a big penalty. You got to be careful if you're Lennox at this point in the game. You don't want to give up a 15-yarder and put Vermillion potentially in a field goal try situation.
Vermillion trails it by 11, 25-14. 9.1 first half. Two wide receivers to the far side, one to the near side. Back to pass is Ward quickly over to Saunders. The pass is too high, and then he gets hit late out of bounds. Saunders, if he would have caught that, would have been out of bounds, and he makes contact. Surprise, no penalty flag this time.
Charlie Ward came over and he said something to Saunders. He told him what route to run. That's the only way he looked, but he didn't deliver a good pass. And they were trying to just get him a little bit further down the field. And now I think Vermillion's going to use their last time out. 5 seconds left. See if they set up some kind of trick play to try to get loose and get downfield.
We're going to step aside for 30 seconds. You're listening to Tanager Football on ESPN. We'll be right back with the conclusion of the first half. Don't go anywhere.
Make space for tall items. Quickly and easily move the bins side to side for convenient storage options. The Flexi Slide Bin. Brought to you by Whirlpool.
Ball at the 50-yard line. Vermillion on 3rd down and 9, but just 5 seconds remaining in this first half. They need the home run ball right now. Lennox playing prevent defense. Back to pass is Ward. He's going to look open to a wide open Reese Profrock, who pitches it right behind him to Saunders. Saunders cuts it up to about the 36-yard line before he's wrapped up and taken down, a gain of 14 yards. But nonetheless, that is the conclusion of the first half, as it's going to be a lead of 11 points for Lennox over the Vermillion Tanagers, 25-14. We'll step aside, and when we come back, it's the Saunders Chiropractic halftime show in 3 minutes on ESPN 101.5 AM 1570 and around the world, kvtk.com. halftime as the Vermillion Teenagers trail it against the Lennox Orioles 25-14 in a game that Vermillion has to win tonight, and a couple other things that have to go right for them in other games around the state of South Dakota if they want to make postseason. But it has been anything but that right now for Vermillion, as again, in the first 33 seconds, everything started off right for Vermillion. It was just Lennox on their second play fumbled the football. The third play of the football game, it was a big 40-yard touchdown pass from Charlie Ward to Jack Kratz, making it 7-0 before Lennox would rattle off 25 unanswered points. Vermillion gets a late touchdown with about 2 minutes remaining in the first half to make it and closing that gap 25-14. But John, I know as you said so far tonight, when it comes out to those first 3-4 minutes, this looked like it was going to be Vermillion cruising to an easy victory, but it has been anything since then.
Well, they at least had a chance to build a lead early, and they failed to do that. They scored 33 seconds in, they get another turnover, and then they don't capitalize. They don't get a touchdown. They missed a field goal try, I think it was, on that drive. And then they just can't get out of their own way. I think these are two evenly matched football teams. I don't think Lennox is a lot better than Vermillion. They just capitalized on turnovers, and that's what you have to do to win football games. And both teams are playing for a chance to potentially play in the postseason, depending on how other things work out. You've got to take advantage of opportunities, and that's exactly what Lennox has done.
Lennox so far tonight in the passing game, Brandon Fudness thrown for 121 yards, including a touchdown strike or a couple touchdown strikes in there, and also does have an interception. Charlie Ward, 184 yards, 2 touchdowns for him as well. What do you think it comes down on offense for Vermillion? Do they need to get this run game going, kind of like Lennox has so far with Fudness, when it comes to quarterback keepers, but also finding Ty Spurler when they've had those chances?
No, I think when it comes to Vermillion's offense, it's pretty simple. Hold on to the football. That's what's hurt them. They're moving the football. They're running the ball decently well. They're throwing the ball decently well. They're dealing with some pressure, of course, from the Lennox defense. They're really dialing it up here in this football game. But the reality is Vermillion's offense, the only thing that they're missing is holding out of the football so far tonight, and that's been what has hurt them.
It really has. 2 fumbles for the Vermillion Teenagers tonight have resulted in 12 points from Lennox, and that is what continues to carry them. Again, Lennox went on a 25-point tear of unanswered points to take the lead at 1 point over Vermillion, 25-7, before a late touchdown in that second quarter made the score right now 25-14. This is the Saunders Chiropractic Halftime Show on ESPN 1015 AM 1570 and online at kvtk.com. We've mentioned Fudness, 131 yards so far in the passing game. He's also carried the football 9 times for 34 yards, and he has been a big key to this offense tonight and this season, and they'll continue to rely on him. And Vermillion, as John mentioned, just needs to hold on to the football, and they can get back into this game. Again, an 11-point lead for Lennox, but this one is far from over, as Vermillion will receive the second half kickoff. We're going to step aside for a moment, and when we come back, scores from around the state of South Dakota and get you even closer to the second half. That's on the way on ESPN 1015 AM 1570. The Saunders Chiropractic halftime show on ESPN 101.5, AM 1570, and online at kvtk.com. Is at halftime, Lennox leads it over the Vermillion Tanagers 25-14. Something interesting to note at halftime, Vermillion always stays out on the football field, but tonight they went back into the locker room. Can only imagine what that conversation has been and what has been said at halftime, but Vermillion trying to get back into this, and we know they can do that. They have dominated a lot this season in the second half, and they'll look to continue that. And again, they need to win tonight, and they need for a Belle Fourche to get the victory and also Dakota Valley to get the victory if they want to make postseason. And Lennox, they still have a far chance at making postseason as well. And they need a lot of things to go right, including a victory for them. And it's been a good game so far, but Vermillion trailing by 11 will look to make that comeback in the second half. And speaking of games from around the state of South Dakota, I have seen at least pictures from Brookings, South Dakota, that snow has been cleared out of SDSU to have that football game tonight. I know over in Belle Fourche and Custer, they're seeing snow. John, what is the rest of the state of South Dakota looking like when it comes to weather as we sit in this spacious Dakota Dome, nice and warm, and also those scores?
Well, it's cold outside. I don't care where you're at. It's cold unless you're inside a building like we're at. But we'll start in 11 AAA tonight, where Roosevelt's defeated Washington 44-7. Lincoln all over Rapid City Central tonight, 72-12. Harrisburg leading O'Gorman at halftime, 14-10. In 11 AA, Sturgis leading Spearfish at halftime, 14-7. Huron and Mitchell are all square at 13. That game midway through the third. Douglas trailing Pierre 35-7 in the fourth quarter. Yankton trailing Brookings at South Dakota State 14-0. That game is in the third quarter. In 11A, Madison trailing Sioux Falls Christian 7-0. That game's at halftime. Del Rapids and T are tied at 7. That game in the third. Dakota Valley all over Tri-Valley in the third, 25-0. West Central with a 1-point advantage on Canton, 7-6. That game is in the third quarter. Belle Fourche has the football in their game. They are in the third quarter, and it is 7-7 Belle Fourche and Custer. In 11B, these are playoff games now. McCook Central Montrose advanced with a win over Stanley County in Fort Pierre, 22-14. Winter 40, Garrettson nothing. That game is final. Elk Point Jefferson leads Mount Vernon Plankinton in Elk Point late, 27-12. Sioux Valley 42, Chamberlain 6. That game in the third. Bridgewater Emory Ethan blanked lead Deadwood tonight, 53-0. A few games in this in 11B, and some of these playoffs have been postponed to tomorrow due to weather situations. In 9AA, Viborg Hurley leading Parker at halftime 20-0. Hanson 22, Parkston 6. That game in the third. Dual and Florence Henry are scoreless, it appears, in the fourth quarter. Hamlin beat Clark Willow Lake 50-0. Platte Geddes 36, Bonhomme nothing. That game at halftime. Arlington Lake Preston and Baltic are tied at 14. That game is in the third quarter. On to 9A tonight in the playoffs. In South Dakota, Castlewood 32, Gregory 14. That game's a final. Howard is leading DeSmit at halftime, 13-0. Canastota Freeman 32, Chester 8. That game at half, and another final. Lyman defeated Burke 36-16. And finally in 9B, Irene Wakanda trailing Scotland 24-0. That game just starting the third. Coleman Egan 40, Alcester Hudson 32. That game has now gone final. So those two teams, that team advances on to the next round. Some games obviously postponed until tomorrow. Couple of forfeits in Class 9B. Esteline Hendricks, they were the flex team in the spot for Avon playing Corsica Stickney. They forfeited, and Bison forfeited to Del Rapids St. Mary. So that means Corsica Stickney and Del Rapids St. Mary's will advance on to the next round. You're all cut up.
There we go. What about my Eagles?
The Eagles, yes, are leading the Giants 10-7, and that game is in the second quarter. The Eagles just got a nice little turnover, but now trying to get into the end zone. But they do have the lead, 10-7. Eagles have it at the Giants' 20-yard line, 2nd and 15.
Let's get a touchdown.
Let's go.
25-14, Lennox right now on top of Vermillion as we are at halftime. We'll step aside for a quick moment, listen to Saunders Chiropractic halftime show, and when we come back, it's the third quarter as Vermillion looks to get back into it. That's on the way in 90 seconds on ESPN 101.5 AM 1570 and around the world, kvtk.com. At halftime, it's the Lennox Orioles that lead it over the Vermillion Tanagers 25-14, as it will be Vermillion who will receive the second half kickoff, and they will going to need to do something with this opening drive right away. But we shouldn't get too ahead of ourselves, as a week ago against Dakota Valley, it was Vermillion who got the second half kickoff, and they fumbled it, gave it right back to Dakota Valley, only for Dakota Valley to go 4 and out. Vermillion on the next possession would go down and score, making it a running clock. The rest is history, as they say. Vermillion would go on to get the win against the Panthers 48-7. But right now in this one against the Lennox Orioles, they find themselves trailing by 11. It is Ethan Eli who has it teed up, puts his right leg into it. It doesn't go too far. Hunter Lavin has to chase after it. The cross-country guy who was honored at halftime is going to fall on top of it right at the 29-yard line, safely and securely. And Vermillion will set up first down and 10 as Charlie Ward will run over to TJ Beacom to get the play call in.
Yeah, and I tell you what, you say cross-country guy, that was a sprint to go get that football. That wasn't a distance run, but, yeah, good to see him cover that up. And now Vermillion, look, it's 25-14. It's not like they're getting blown out here. They just got to put together a drive. You score on this drive, and I don't care if it's a field goal or a touchdown, but you obviously get yourself within a score, and you just got to do that and build some confidence.
Also does a little bit of golf as well, Hunter Lavin. And, of course, as we know, play football. Kale Mockler in motion on first down 10. It's going to be a quick little pass over to Jack Kratz. And Kratz had it in his mitts and then drops it. That has been Kratz's kind of story. Just 2 receptions tonight for 11 yards. Does have a fumble. And now another drop pass for him will bring up second down and 10. Ball at the 29-yard line. Vermillion trying to put something together on this opening drive of the second half. Shotgun formation for Charlie Ward with 2 wide receivers in tight. They're going to hand it off to Lacaniata. Lacaniata has some space along the far sideline, up to 50 before he is shoved out of bounds by Budness. The safety there playing that last roll to make sure Lacaniata didn't take that one back to the house.
Well, and that was set up by the blocking, obviously, up front, but then Reese Profrock on the outside sealed his defender. Lacaniata read it well and got to the outside, and around the corner he went for a big gain.
Lacaniata 5 carries for 45 yards tonight. 2 wide receivers to the far side. Now they're going to hand it right back off to Lacaniata. Follows a kind of pulling guard there, but going to get taken down at the thigh from behind. A gain of 2 yards as he crosses over the 50 down to the 48, make it 2nd down and 8.
Yeah, and that time he was being patient, waiting for the hole to open up, and it did. But the problem was he got tracked down from behind. So they've just got to move those offensive linemen a little bit quicker and get themselves in a position to get that block and get that play upfield.
First 30 seconds gone already of the second half. They're going to hand it right back off to Lacaniata. It has been 3 yards. Lacaniata with one on his back continues to keep the feet moving. Passes the 45 down to the 44. A big 4-yard gain. So we'll set up 3rd down and 4 for the Vermillion Tanagers as they look over to the far sideline. TJ Beacom giving out the hand calls. We'll put Saunders to that far side. We'll leave Jack Kratz alone by himself at the near hash. Profrock and Saunders, the 2 off to the far side. Now Cale Mockler getting to where he needs to be. Finally gets set. Shotgun formation with Charlie Ward, Lacaniata right behind him. Back to pass is Ward. Has pressure in his face. Going to scramble to the near. Now chucks it over to Saunders as Saunders picks up the 1st down. And then, my goodness, gets a late shove with nothing called, but a gain of 5 yards and a 1st down.
Yeah, really good play that time. I thought Charlie Ward was hanging on to the football a little bit too long, but he just kept stringing out the play, and then Saunders sliced it across the middle for a 1st down, and you move the chains. That's a big conversion.
Ward steps up, says something to his offensive line, will now step back into his position at the 44. Pump fakes once, and they're going to get hit from behind, but secures the football and then goes down the 2nd time as he got hit once, almost fumbled it, retained possession, holding on to it tightly, but doesn't see a 2nd man come up, and he's going to get dropped back down to the 45 and a loss of 6 yards.
You know, Vermillion's trying to go for the home run ball, and I don't blame them. I get it. They've got big playability, but the blocking schemes just have not been there to allow for a lot of big plays outside of an early play. They need to get back to those short passes.
2 minutes now gone, 3rd quarter. Quick little wide receiver screen to Connor Saunders. He gets a block, tries to follow it upfield, but only going to cut forward for 4 yards. In fact, doesn't even get back to the original line of scrimmage and making it 3rd down and 12. Ball at the 41-yard line. John, you have to feel like this is 4-down territory right now for Vermillion as well.
Well, no question. This year down 2 scores. We're only in the 3rd quarter, but you're not going to help yourself much by playing field position at this point. So get a chunk play here. See if it sets you up for a field goal. If not, go for it on 4th down and try to move the chains.
2 wide receivers to the near side, 1 off the far side. Ward back to pass. The pressure is on. He steps up now, has to scramble out over the near number. Still the pressure's on, and he is going to slip down back at the 50. As we just said, play for field position, but when you take that big of a sack of 9 yards and set up 4th down and 21, Vermillion is going to have to punt it away.
Charlie Ward's just not reading his blocks very well. That time the blitzing back was picked up, but then he stepped in front of his blocker, and it put himself in trouble. Then he tries to run away, and you just can't get loose. So that's a mistake, and he's just got to get rid of that football. You can't take a sack right there.
Saunders will stand at the 35. Jackson Alt, the return man for Lennox, back at the 18. It's a clean snap, and it's going to be a big boot from Connor Saunders as it will send Alt all the way back to 10. He picks it up and now has to find some space up the middle. Bounces off the ground of one tackler as he never put his feet to the ground. And now a penalty flag is going to come in for a face mask as Jackson is able to get that all the way back to the 25. Great job by him. And with that face mask, it's going to bring it all the way up to the 40.
Well, I'm real surprised if they call that a face mask because he came over the backside. There was no grabbing of the helmet of any sort that I could see. It's a block in the back. It's definitely not a face mask. It didn't appear to be that on the tackle. It's a block in the back, so to move Lennox backwards. But, yeah, that was a big punt, big return. That was incredible. He got spun around, put his hand on the ground, kept his balance, and was able to work upfield for a decent gain. It's wiped off because of the penalty. By the way, Custer and Belfouche are tied at 14 in the third quarter.
And I'm not one to rag on refs, but I was going to say, if they do call that a face mask, there is definitely a lot more penalty flags that they should be throwing than tonight. On first down and 10, ball at the 15, it's going to be the option play that Fudness just keeps himself and cuts it up to the 20 for a gain of 5 yards. And as much as maybe we think missed calls have been not called tonight from the officials, it has been consistent from them and what they've been able to do.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, these guys are working hard, and they're trying to get in position to see everything, and it's tough. When you got two teams trying to make big plays, it's tough sometimes.
Second down and 5, ball at the 20. One in motion, but Fudness is going to go over the middle to Jackson, who catches it on the run, and he shakes off Saunders, and he's going to get all the way down to the 48. Another big 28-yard pass play from Lennox, and another first down as they're moving right down the field.
Yeah, that's a great read by the quarterback, Fudness. What he did there was he saw the safety, Hunter Lavin, come creeping up to take away the swing pass, and that left the slant pattern wide open in the middle of the field, and they get it for a big gain.
Quickly moving in this third quarter, down to 7-17. Shotgun formation for Fudness. Going to quickly roll out and then find Christensen. Christensen easily catches it and gets pushed out. But again, he was wide open and picks up 7 yards. And John, this looks exactly like an offense that Vermillion runs, that they find success, but they haven't been able to do so tonight.
Well, it's because they haven't had the pass protection. Lennox has pass protection right now. Their quarterback has time to stand back there, is making quick reads and delivering crisp passes. You got to have a little bit more time when you're on offense.
Brandon Fudness now 166 yards, and a high snap, just has to pull this one down, run straight forward after a broken play, finds the 4 yards that he needed, and that will be another first down. It's the 7th rushing first down of the evening for Lennox, and Andy Holman quickly calls the timeout.
No, it's not a timeout. There's an injured player.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was looking down at Andy Holman. I missed the injured player. Taking a look.
I think it's Cale Mockler laying out his back at the 40-yard line, and the trainer was the first out there. Now, Coach Holman walking out to check on it, but I don't see 16 walking around down here in the huddle, so I'm guessing that's Cale Mockler, and hard to say what he's dealing with, but obviously banged up from that last play.
Cale Mockler, a leader for this team, has just been tremendous with what he has been able to do. He's being put upright right now and kind of being taken a look at. His helmet is off. Whatever it is, he does look like he gets up on his own power and walking away by himself. No need of assistance, so you wonder if maybe he didn't get popped in the stomach and just had his breath taken away there for a moment. But it will be a first down and 10. Lennox will set up at the 41-yard line as they are moving the football quickly on this drive. Cale Mockler will step over the sideline, does point down at his stomach as though he did get popped, and he'll step out for a play. First down 10. It's going to be the quick wide receiver screen that's going to be read nicely by Jeremy Crow, and Crow comes up with a big defensive stop for the Vermillion Tanagers and a loss of a yard, maybe 2, and bring up second down and 11.
Last time, Hunter Lavin crept up a little bit quick. This time, Jeremy Crow waits back a little bit, waits for the play to develop, then goes up there and makes the big play.
So second down and 11. Ball at the 42. Let's mention a quick moving third quarter. Already 6:32. That's the mark that we're at. Another wide receiver. This one's going to be thrown to the ground too low for Christensen. And John, so far tonight, we have seen Vermillion struggle on third down. In fact, on third down for Lennox, they are 7 of 11, and another big third down and 11. This isn't the football game by any means, but they need to get the stop here.
Well, you need to get out every stop. You need empty possessions for Lennox, and you can't have empty possessions on your side. So they've got to find a way to get a stop, and we'll see if they can do it.
Third down 11. Ball at the 42. Fudness, back to pass. He's going to go over to Christensen. Christensen makes the clean catch, but nice job by Jeremy Crow just to allow Christensen to make the reception of about 6 yards, and that is it before they take him down at the 36-yard line. So fourth down and 6. is what it will bring up for Lennox, and they are going to go for it. Might as well. This is 4-down territory. They are successful on 4th down tonight, 2 of 2.
Don't be surprised if you see the same play, quick slant route.
2 wide receivers to either side. Fudness, shotgun formation, looks over to Christensen, and this one read perfectly by Jeremy Crow, as it's a curl route that it's going to be jumped by Crow, knocks the football down, and it's going to be a big turnover that Vermillion needed.
Yeah, instead of the slant route, they go with the quick curl, and you're right, Jeremy Crow's just sitting there playing kind of center field, and he jumped in front, knocked that thing away. Now Vermillion has an opportunity. Your defense just got to stop. The offense has got to do something here and get some points on this scoreboard. 5:47 left in the third. There's still a lot of time left in this football game, but you cannot afford to have empty possessions if you're the Tanagers right now.
John, I'm going to come to you in just a moment.
I'll be here.
From scores from around the state of South Dakota. Again, Vermillion needs to win tonight. Here they go, 1st down and 10, ball at the 36. 2 wide receivers to the near side, 1 on the far side. Again, that's if Vermillion wants to make it to postseason. Pressure is on, and Charlie Ward continues to keep the play alive, but they're going to say that the play before he ever goes down is going to be blowing dead. It is going to be a sack of another 11 yards and bring up 2nd down and 21.
He's just stepping right into the pressure, and he's got to not do that. His guys are giving him time, but he dances around and then walks into the pressure. All right, the scores that you're really looking for: Dakota Valley 25, Tri-Valley 6, that at the end of 3. Starting the 4th quarter, Belfouche and Custer are tied at 14.
14 apiece between those two teams. 2nd down and 21, now ball at the 25. It's going to be the running back screen or just a quick little swing pass over to La Cañada, but that one is beyond the reach, and you have to say it, Charlie Ward looking like the most uncomfortable he has been in a long time in a football game, just makes another bad pass.
Yeah, that was a tough one, and they're trying to set up the screen. It was blown up regardless, but they are trying to set up that little swing pass and get him downfield, and we'll see. Now you got a 3rd down and really, really long for Vermillion.
5:37, 3rd quarter. Shotgun formation for Charlie. He's looking to go deep. He's going to go deep over the middle. A jump ball that's going to get nowhere close to anybody. He was looking Connor Saunders deep over the middle, and Saunders just had to keep on running. It was never going to catch up with it. That was basically a punt. But now we're going to see the punt team come on out here as it's 4th down and forever for Vermillion. And after getting Lennox to go have a possession that moved nicely down the football field, they were able to get a 4-and-out finally after a deflected pass from Jeremy Crow, but Vermillion not able to do anything with it besides moving backwards of a loss of 11 yards, having to come back to punt it. Connor Saunders standing at the 10-yard line. Nice clean snap, but once again puts a big boot into it. Jackson Alt is going to move away from it. Takes a Vermillion bounce before it's going to be hopped on top of by Clayton Sorensen. Ball will be spotted at the 44-yard line, and you have to have a feeling that this, we have a penalty flag.
Penalty. Yeah, and Cale Mockler is talking to the officials, and he looks frustrated with whatever the call is. So I'm not sure what this could be on Vermillion here.
And I can barely see the yellow of that flag.
All right, clean it.
They do, almost, it looks like.
It's unsportsmanlike conduct. That's a dead ball foul. So that's unsportsmanlike and a dead ball foul. That's going to add on to where Lennox will start, and they're going to get great field position.
Yeah, it's going to allow Lennox to have the football move past the 50-yard line into plus territory. It, again, should move it to about the 43 or so, or I should say the 41 it looks like. The officials all going to come together now, have the discussion on where it needs to be.
Well, that's just disappointing, and it's frustrating, obviously. There's been a lot of frustration for Vermillion. They got off to a great start, then kind of gave some things to Lennox. And I'm not saying Lennox didn't earn it by any means because they took advantage of opportunities, but a couple of giveaways when you just drop the football. And now you get an unsportsmanlike, and you got a chance to go down big here. So you've really got to get a stop. Defense needs to stand tall again.
The 6th penalty now on the Vermillion Tanagers. 1st down and 10. It's going to be the option play. It's going to be a fumble. And, man, the luck, as we say, just continues to go the way of Lennox on the option play. A big fumble, but Lennox able to get right back on top of it. And not only is it a fumble, but it's a fumble forward. So resulting fumble is a gain of a yard, making it 2nd down and 9.
Yeah, that's the second time that Lennox has fumbled the ball, and Vermillion just hasn't been able to get on top of it. So a near giveaway for the Orioles.
4:47 in the third quarter. Fuddness back to pass. Looks quickly over. This one just going to go right into the turf. Doesn't even have an opportunity to get to his intended wide receiver. That time looking for Peyton Ike. And another big 3rd down Vermillion needs to come up with. And we saw 4-down territory last time on the last possession for Lennox. And you have to have a feeling that it will be once again. And we'll see if maybe Lennox doesn't try that quick wide receiver screen or even the slant curl. Make it something short. They're going to split everybody out. It's Fuddness by himself. The pressure is on, and now he's just going to step up in the pocket. The all-out blitz by Vermillion doesn't get to Fuddness, and Fuddness is able to scramble up to the 31-yard line, pick up not quite enough. It's going to be 4th down in inches, but again, Lennox is going to go for it.
Yeah, they should. It's 4th down to about a yard, and that time Fuddness saw the blitz coming, and he was able to get upfield, and he almost broke the tackle for a really big gain. We'll see. Don't be this might be. We've seen this before. Where they go shotgun and quarterback run.
We'll see if they come out with it. 4th down and 1. Ball at the 32. 1 in motion. They're going to hand it off to Ty Spurler, who has to lurch forward. I think he's short.
I think he's short as well.
I don't think he got there. He got hit in the backfield, which took his feet out. He dove forward, and it looks like he is going to be short.
They're going to measure, but I'm surprised. He didn't. There's no way he gained anything. He was hit in the backfield, and he had best stretched back to the line of scrimmage. So I'm really surprised that they're even measuring this. I can't tell where the line to gain is on the field. It looks right around the 31-yard line, and it looks to me like the ball is sitting at about the 32, maybe 31 and a half. So this is going to be close.
Yeah, and you mentioned the 31.5, and I think that's even being generous. Again, they're going to have to bring the chains out. They're going to go all the way to the opposite side of the field on 4th down and 1. We'll see if Lennox was able to pick it up.
That was a really good tackle. It was as good as you could do, and I don't think the ball carrier, even if they say he got it here, I don't think he stretched for any kind of gain. It's Vermillion football.
Not only is it Vermillion football, but it's not even close. We are right. It's going to be a turnover on down, about a yard short. Like I said, it doesn't even look like Ty got back to the 1st down marker, I should say, even to the line of scrimmages. He did get hit in the backfield. Vermillion defense prevails once again. They needed to get a stop. They do so. So the score remains 25-14. 3:58, third quarter, but the last possession for the Vermillion Tanagers went 3 and out. They're looking to avoid that on this drive, as it was a sack on 1st down and 10, a loss of 11 yards, and nothing resulting after that. 1 in motion. It's going to be a spin around, and now quickly over to Reese Profrock. Profrock has got some blockers. He's going to follow them up to the 39-yard line. Nice pickup of 7 yards, and making it 2nd down and 3.
Yeah, that's what you got to create something here, and Lennox has been able to get a lot of pressure. Their D linemen are really, really good, and they've been creating a lot of pressure, so you got to get back to those quick passes and get upfield.
As we mentioned, Ward hasn't had a big night, but with that completion, now passes over 200 yards in the passing game. Now handoff to Lakinyata, who just continues to dominate late in this season while running the football. Is going to follow his blockers once again and cut it up to the 48-yard line, and a 1st down of a rushing attempt of 7 yards. 8 carries for him tonight for 58 yards, and now they're going to run on a couple players, get everything sorted out. Vermillion, 3:10, third quarter. They're going to send Connor Saunders to the far side, so 2 wide receivers to that far side, and Jack Kratz, the lone wide receiver to the near side. Now Saunders in motion. They're going to fake the handoff to Lakinyata. Ward finally just throws it over to Saunders. Saunders has to try to create something, not afraid of contact, and more late finally. That's the third or fourth time this has happened this football game. That contact has been made with wide receivers of Vermillion out of bounds, and finally we see a penalty flag come in.
Well, this is unfortunate for Lennox because they had a guy who had the jersey of Connor Saunders. He was out, and I don't know if it was momentum or intentional or whatever, but made the contact, and you just can't do that when the guy's been standing on the white chalk line for about 3 seconds, 4 seconds. That's way too long, and this time they penalized Lennox, and it's a first down for the Tanagers.
And it's not a big hit, and they haven't been big hits, but again, it's just that contact that is coming after the play is out of bounds. So finally, it's going to go Vermillion's way, maybe some luck their way as they get it down to the 36. Now Charlie Ward is scrambling over the near sideline. Is going to see Jack Kratz, who comes up to his quarterback, and on a sliding catch at the 25-yard line, a pickup of 9 yards, making it 2nd down and 1.
On that Belfouche and Custer game, Belfouche just missed it on 4th down, trying to go for it deep in Custer territory. That game's still tied at 14.
25-14 here on 2nd down and 1. They're going to hand it off to Lockenyata. Lockenyata just trying to find some space. Finally, like a bunny, bounces it to the outside and able to get down to the 22. And a drive that continues to cook for Vermillion as they're trying to get back into it, trailing by 11.
Yeah, at times that'll get Lockenyata in trouble, just the delay of getting upfield. But this time he waited for the hole, knowing he just needed a couple of yards, waited for the hole, exploded through it. I think at this point, I mean, you're still in the third quarter. Keep riding John Lockenyata. He's running the football very well.
Lockenyata already over 60 yards in the rushing attack tonight. Ward back to pass. He's looking for the end zone over into the South Dakota Paul. It's Reese Profrock. The hands go up. It's a big touchdown of 22 yards. And Vermillion back within striking distance against Lennox.
That's big, and they're going to go for 2 because the conversion here gets you within 3, and you've got a kicker that you trust. So we're still in the third quarter, but this would be a big conversion to get the Tanagers within 3 if they could convert. That was a big play. Charlie Ward just buying time. Profrock double coverage, but he found a hole just behind defenders, able to secure that football right as contact was made. Hang on for the big touchdown.
It's the first points that we have seen in this third quarter, and it comes the way of the home team, 25-20. The 2-point conversion now, as it will be Connor Saunders, the quarterback on Wildcat. It's just going to be a dump little pass, trying to get to Jack Kratz. Jack Kratz, I don't think was expecting it to ever be thrown to him.
I don't think it was. I think it was thrown to Cale Mockler. Mockler's the tight end who came off the edge, sat right at the goal line. You're trying to do a little jump pass right to that goal line, and he just overthrew him.
A missed opportunity for the Vermillion Tanagers, but it is within 5, 25-20 against the Vermillion Tanagers, who again trail it. We'll be back in 30 seconds on ESPN 101.5 AM 1570.
Pump up your car, coolers, and tummy with Pump and Pack in Vermillion. Whether you're coming or going, we are here for you when you need us with what you need. Grocery items, beer, snacks, fuel, wine, hot dogs, pizza by the slice, and now for real ice cream smoothies and shakes, cookie dough, strawberry banana, and even mocha latte. We are open when you need us 24 hours a day with what you need at Pump and Pack on West Cherry Street in Vermillion.
(25-20), 1:57 third quarter, as it will be Connor Saunders to tee it up for the Vermillion Tanagers, bring it back within 5 points. Again, Vermillion needs to win tonight, and they need 2 games to go their way. One that is basically wrapped up. Dakota Valley is all over Tri-Valley, but the other one that matters between Custer and Belfouche still tied at 14 apiece. A little bit of a squib kick that bounces off of a front man of Lennox, but they're able to get back on top of it at the 41-yard line. 2 possessions so far for Lennox in this third quarter have both gone dry, and they need another stop, the Vermillion defense, if they want to get back into it here in this third quarter. Funness will bring the offense out for Lennox in their all-white uniforms with the numbers and letters in black outlined in orange. Not Halloween colors, just the normal colors. 3 wide receivers. It's going to be a little counter trying to go back. up the middle with Lennox not going to work for a gain of maybe a yard or two. 2nd down and 8.
That Dakota Valley game is final. They defeated Tri-Valley 31-6. So that game is over, and the other game still going on. It's Custer and Belle-Fourche, and Custer just converted on a either 3rd or 4th and short try for a 1st down. So they've got it with about 3.5 minutes to play.
Again, things need to go all Vermillion's way. Right now, to the 1 and 3 scenarios, one has. 2 more need to take care of themselves. Fudness has pressure. He steps up, almost took off. Now going to try a big pass, and this one's going to be broken up. A penalty flag?
Yep. It should be a hold on Lennox. It should be a hold on the Lennox wide receiver because the Vermillion defensive back had a chance, I think it was Stockwell, had a chance to go make the play, but he was being pulled backwards and could not get free. If this is on anybody, it has to be on the Lennox wide receiver, an offensive holding of the defender, keeping him from making a play. So we'll see. There's a big discussion going on by the officials right now at midfield.
Yeah, and I completely missed that.
That's what I thought. His right arm was being pulled all the way backwards, and one of the officials is coming over to talk to Andy Holman. I really felt like that was going to be the call, and it is. Okay, pass interference is going to be the call.
Okay.
It's offensive pass interference because the receiver, I think Bryce Stockwell may have intercepted that pass because it was just floated up on the sideline, but the receiver was holding his right arm back, and he couldn't break free enough to try to go intercept the pass.
3rd down and 9. John caught it all. I missed it. I would say it looked like a jump ball that when I saw the penalty flag come in late, I was just questioning on what, because no one really was able to get to it. 3rd down 9. Ball at the 42. 1 in motion. Fudness. Pressure over the middle. This one just too high for Jackson Alt. It's another possession. This time is going to be 3 and out, and Lennox has to punt it away, and momentum now swinging the way of Vermillion.
Yeah, but you got to make sure they get a punt off, and then you got to get a return, and you go score here, you're going to have momentum in that 4th quarter of play. But that was a big stop by the defense. I like what Vermillion's defense has adjusted. They've made adjustments, and they've executed it well.
Here we go, Vermillion. They always come after it. It's going to be on, but it's going to be a nice punt away from Lennox as Saunders catches it in at the 21. Finds some space up the middle as he juked one out of his shoes and brings it up to the 30-yard line. Vermillion will set up 1st down and 10. Last possession for the Challengers was a 22-yard touchdown pass to Reese Profrock. Charlie Ward has been, as I mentioned, it seems like he's been so shaken tonight, but he has thrown for 238 yards, 3 touchdowns. So it's going to come down to Charlie Ward in this passing game, and just need to continue to rely on that and avoid the sacks as well. 2 wide receivers to the far side. Connor Saunders, the near wide receiver at the numbers. Cale Mockler moves in motion. Ward back to pass. Now scrambles over to the near side. Just going to take off himself, and he's going to get hit from behind, then pop from the front as he ducks out of bounds. Gets back to the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard. 2nd down and 9.
Oh, he got crunched, too. He got sandwiched between 2 guys right at the sideline. Only got a yard out of it. You've got to get yourself in a better position, and you can't be getting hit that way. All right, we mentioned the Dakota Valley score's gone final. Now, Belle-Fourche and Custer, 14-14, 90 seconds left in that game. Belle-Fourche has the football right around the Custer 10 or 15-yard line.
And again, Belle-Fourche needs to win that. Wide receiver screen is going to go over to Connor Saunders, and this one is read perfectly by the Lennox defense, coming up with a big stop.
Yeah, Jack Kratz has to make a block. That's the difference between that play working and not working. Jack Kratz has got to seal his guy on the outside and make that block. He did not, and the play got blown up. So now Vermillion, with 23 seconds of the clock rolling in the 3rd, I think we'll have to run one more play, maybe. They should, right? Have to run one more play, and we'll see what they do here as the 3rd quarter's winding down.
Aiden Spielman was the one that came in, a cornerback for Lennox, to make that big hit on Connor Saunders. 3rd down and long. Back to pass is Charlie Ward. Now he's going to step off, take take off up the field, up the middle, down to the 45, and he's going to be right down at the first down marker. He's going to be short. He will be short. It's going to be
hurt.
4th down in inches, and now Charlie Ward is getting up slowly as we hit triple zeros in the third quarter, but we're going to keep it right here, right now, to make sure Charlie Ward is okay.
He's rolling around. He's hurt. He tried, I think what happened, he juked. He went left and then juked back to the right and kind of dropped as he met the defenders. And you always worry about those cut plays, one way or the other. And Charlie Ward, unfortunately, down right now. They've taken his helmet off, and hopefully that young man's going to be all right.
Ty Hertz is the backup quarterback, but also Connor Saunders can come and play in that role, kind of transition into a Wildcat offense. Nonetheless, we're going to step aside as we are at the end of quarter break. The fourth quarter coming up here in a minute, and a look at Charlie Ward that's on the way on ESPN 101.5 AM 1570.
Vermillion Medical Clinic has an ongoing mission to provide areas with quality health care and convenient access to medical professionals. Our patients at Vermillion Medical Clinic value our dedicated primary care physicians, compassionate PAs, and consistently scheduled outreach specialty care. If you have health questions, need a screening, or have medical concerns for yourself or family members, call us for an appointment or visit VermillionMedicalClinic.com. So much care, so close to home.
Back into action here as we begin the fourth quarter, as they do give Vermillion the first down. So Vermillion was up first down in 10. Ball at the 45. Going to hand it off to Lacaniata. Revisit the injury to Charlie Ward as Ty Hertz is the new quarterback that is in. Ward did get up on his own power and walk off the field, but did have a limp. And it looked like he went back to the training table. Hopefully he's okay. He can get back into it. As again, the new backup quarterback out there is Ty Hertz, the sophomore quarterback, whose only action this season was seen last week in the big victory over Dakota Valley. Second down and 10. They're going to hand it off once again to Lacaniata. The pressure's on. Lacaniata, though, has to run really far backwards before he finally takes off upfield. And the senior himself banks it basically a 16-yard run, picks up, though, 11 yards and a big first down.
That was a big run, and he ran a long ways to find some openings, and they're going to put this on the back of the senior running back right now. By the way, 1 second to go. Belfouche and Custer tied at 14. Belfouche is going to try to win it here.
First down and 10, ball at the 44. John, we'll check back in with you in just a moment. Ty Hertz, shotgun formation. They're going to hand it off to Lacaniata again, and right now the Lacaniata, the senior himself, is taking over this football game. Follows a great block of Zach Brady and another there as he's able to cut it up to the 35, and another gain of 9 yards, making it second down and 1.
Well, Belfouche lined it up for a field goal at the end of this one. Where have the Tanagers seen this before, huh? Heath, did you see this once upon a time? I'll update you after this play.
Second down and 1. An overtime victory a year ago to begin the season for Vermillion, and now Cale Mockler goes in motion just as he can, and it looks like Cole Benning might have jumped off sides for Lennox, and he does, and it's going to be a free first down for the Vermillion Tanagers with a penalty on the Lennox Orioles, and that will move the football up to the 30-yard line.
No update. Timeout Custer. They're trying to freeze the kicker. It's a chilly night, light snow on the ground. Trying to freeze the kicker. 4 seconds left.
The kicker's trying to thaw himself out.
Yes.
As it is a very cold night over on the west side of South Dakota. It's 72 and warm here in the Dakota Dome. Handoff once again to Lacaniata. Gets hit at the knees but spins forward for another 3, maybe 4 yards. And Lacaniata just continues to put it on his back right now with a 3-yard gain, 2nd down and 7, 9-16, 4th quarter. And we'll see if Lakinyata can just continue to dominate. Again, we have not seen Charlie Ward. Can't tell if he's standing by, I don't think that's him, by TJ Bika. Again, we hope he can get back into it. Right now, though, it's the sophomore quarterback with Hurts. Shotgun formation. He's just going to keep it himself, try to find some space, but Lennox reads it nicely, and they're able to get back to Hurts, and it's a big 4-yard loss on the sack. And bring up now 3rd down and 13.
Well, the Tanagers need to get to work because Belfouche just made that field goal, and they just beat Custer right at the end. 17-14 the final, so Belfouche knocks off Custer on a game-winning field goal with 4 seconds left. Dakota Valley has won. The only piece left of Vermillion's puzzle is taking care of their own business. They're down 5.
Vermillion makes the postseason if they win, but they need to do so. 8-19, 4th quarter, trailing by 5, 25-20. Hurts quickly over to Connor Saunders, but it's going to be read perfectly by Lennox as they were waiting for that wide receiver screen back to the line of scrimmage. And now on 4th down and 12, ball at the 32-yard line. Vermillion is going to have to go for it. Are they going to punt it away here?
They might with the timeouts that they have right now, 7:50 remaining. You may try to play some type of field position, but looks like a little trick formation. I think
looks like they're going to bring out the swinging gate here. See what they can do with it. Is Lennox ready? Are they lined up properly? It's a low snap, and it's going to be Saunders who's just going to throw it down to Kale Mockler. Mockler at the 15, and Mockler, it's going to go in, but it's going to be a block in the back.
That wasn't. It was not a block. What it is it's a blindside block. And that's been an emphasis in football. It's been a change. That's going to be probably an illegal blindside block. It was definitely not a block in the back. At best, if there's a rule in high school football about blindside blocks, that's what has to be applied here. It was definitely not a block in the back.
Tyson Haig is the one who made the hit.
And Tyson Haig can't believe it.
Yeah.
He was stunned. And you know what? Honestly, he didn't need to make the contact either. Kale Mockler was going to walk into the end zone. But they are going to penalize Vermillion here, it appears.
Conversation is still being had. What is it going to, they're going to set it down at the 5. And again, the penalty comes against Haig.
And that's what they're calling. It's an illegal blindside block against Vermillion. And you don't need to make that hit. There was a huge hit by Ty Haig. And it was a statement hit, no doubt. But you just wiped a touchdown off of the board, and that's unfortunate here for Vermillion because they had a great play. They converted well. They had Lennox confused, and it worked. But the problem is it gets wiped off of the board.
And not only does it wipe off the board, but it's also a loss of down for the Vermillion Tanagers. So Lennox will get the football now. Ball at the 21, or no, they're going to score. I'm sorry, it's going to be 4th down.
It is 4th down.
It's going to be 4th down.
I believe that penalty's marked off maybe from the spot, so now it's 4th and short for Vermillion. Instead of 4th and long, it's 4th and short.
And now Hurts is going to go underneath center. Vermillion, the push to keep the season alive. It's going to work. They're going to get it down to the 19. They had to get to the 20, and it's going to be a 1st down of a gain of 2 yards. But that swinging gate, John, Lennox doesn't sit up perfectly, and they can come back to Kratz on the near side. So that might be a play that you bring out later if you need it.
Heck, I bring it out on 1st down. If it's going to work, let's go, baby.
1st down and 10. Ball at the 19-yard line. They're going to hand it off to Lakinyata. Lakinyata following Zach Brady, then somehow got tripped up from behind, it looks like, and falls forward down to about the 13-yard line, but a pickup of 6 yards, making it 2nd down and 4, 7:07, 4th quarter. And now...
Lennox player injured, get tangled up on the inside there, so unfortunate to see that. Obviously, injury to a player. We've seen a couple of them here, but they're tending to a Lennox player right now.
And that is Jackson Alton. He is just such a talented player. Jackson, his brother last year, the big quarterback who led that team to the state tournament last year, and it's tough to see Alt Brother down right now. We'll step aside here and be back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Tanager Football on ESPN 1015 AM 1570 and online at kvtk.com. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
In football, everybody loves a good collision.
.708 fourth quarter. Orioles lead it over Vermillion Tanagers, but Vermillion inside the red zone on 2nd down and 5. It's going to be a high snap that's going to be kept by Hertz. Oh boy. You see the backup quarterback make it kind of like a read option, pulls it down, then doesn't know what to do with it after that, and Lennox is able to get all over Hertz, and you start to wonder how much it's going to play effective now missing Charlie Ward for this offense for the Vermillion Tanagers.
You got to put your trust into Ty Hertz and keep giving him the confidence. They wanted to keep feeding La Cañada and getting chunk plays or piece it together, but now 3rd and long.
3rd down and 9. Hertz has just thrown the football once so far. Now draws back the pass. It's a high ball for Saunders that's going to be caught, then knocked out of his hands. And Vermillion is going to have to go for it on 4th down and 9. Trailing by 5.
Yeah, that's one where, and they may try to kick a field goal. They may not have to go for it.
Gate.
Or swinging gate. That's what's coming out. You're right. They're going to try this play again and see how Lennox tries to defend it.
Again, there's different options. Saunders can keep it himself. You can go to Cale Mockler. You can throw it over to Kratz. And you can also hand it off to Profrock, who's going to keep it. He's going to throw it for the end zone. It's high, and it's going to be knocked away. Knocked away on a big pass defensive play by Peyton Ike, trying to get it to Clayton Sorensen, and Lennox defense is going to hold.
That was a really good play. It was Reese Profrock had to kind of jump and throw that one, and if he throws that to the back of the end zone, it might be 6 points for Vermillion, but it was just underthrown enough that the defensive back could jump up like a volleyball player and swat at that football and knock it away.
By no means is this over with yet. 6-12, 4th quarter, 1st down and 10. Ball at the 18-yard line for Lennox. They just need to run out this clock. They're going to hand it off to Ty Spurler, and he's going to get right back to the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard, if that. And Lennox, John, they have to keep throwing the football. They have to nickel and dime this Vermillion Tanager team because you just can't run it on Vermillion. They have seen so many teams run the football on them all season long that they are ready for it. They know how to stop it. The only good part about Lennox running the football is it keeps that clock moving.
Well, and you said they just have to run out the clock. Look, there's 5.5 minutes left.
Yeah.
You can't just run out the clock. You've got to sustain a drive.
And they hand it off to Ty Spurler, and he's just going to get tripped up. And this is a big one by Haig as he gets in there. He's frustrated after the touchdown was wiped out because of his hit that we're not going to debate whether it was a penalty or not because we both feel the same way up here.
Well, it was a blindside block. You can't do that. That's what it was. It wasn't a block in the back, and they didn't call it block in the back. They called a blindside hit, and you just have to steer clear of that.
3rd down and 11. Ball at the 17-yard line. 2 wide receivers to the far side, 1 to the near side. Funness, shotgun formation, looking to pass, looking over the middle. Now they're going to chuck it deep. Stockwell has to try to catch up, and he's not going to get there in time. And it's a big reception for the Lennox Oriole with Carter Van Houten, his first reception of the evening, all the way down to the 29-yard line.
Yeah, that was unfortunate because that quarterback, Funness, he had all day back there, and it was a delayed blitz that got picked up nicely, and then downfield, unfortunately, Stockwell kind of got caught looking back into the backfield, and the receiver got behind him, and that was a big play and a big gain. And remember, they had a receiver go out. I forget his name, but he's not back into this football game, so other guys are getting opportunities, and that was a big play made.
Jackson Alt was the one who came up with
and
the
he's
injury.
sitting over on the bench.
And that one is tough to see as, again, Jackson, such a talented player for the Lennox Orioles. 4:25, fourth quarter, and now a timeout is going to be used by Lennox. We'll take the timeout with them. It's a Culligan water break. We'll be back in 30 seconds on ESPN 101.5 AM 1570.
Clay County Abstract and Title Company has a complex job that boils down to something very simple: helping you purchase your dream with confidence. When investing in a new home, a new site for your business, or piece of property, you want peace of mind that the property is truly yours. Clay County Abstract and Title Company has been doing just that since 1946. Clay County Abstract and Title Company, proud supporters of Vermillion activities and proud to be a part of your dreams come true.
Fourth quarter, inside the Dakota Dome, 25-20. Lennox leads it over Vermillion on first down and 10. Ball at the 29-yard line. As after the timeout for Lennox, they come back out. Two wide receivers to the near side. One to the far side. It's going to be a quick little pass to the tight end right over the middle. That is going to work for a nice gain of 5, maybe 6 yards. They'll say 6. Sets up second down and 4 as that clock will continue to work against the Vermillion Tanagers.
You got to get a stop here. I don't know what Lennox has for a field goal unit, but they're going to use as much time as they can on this clock because it's in their favor. And even if they line up and make a field goal, that would make it an 8-point game.
Two wide receivers now to the far side, one to the near side. Blitz is on. Budness is going to get blown up in the backfield at the 25, and a loss of 3 yards. As coming free that time was Jack Kratz on a free run. Makes a big lick on Budness.
Yeah, Kratz came flying through the hole. Big stick. Now it's third down at about 7. Vermillion willing to let this clock run. They need to put it on their defense right now to get a stop and then make a decision if you take a timeout before a fourth down try.
3:20, fourth quarter. Two wide receivers split to the far side. One to the near side. Budness shotgun formation. He's going to look over. It's going to be a jump ball, and it's going to be picked off by Bryce Stockwell. His first interception this season. He's had so many different opportunities for interceptions, and this time comes up with a big one. Returns it just back to the 16, but Vermillion will take over first down and 10 with 3:07, fourth quarter, all 3 timeouts, and TJ Beacom holding the collar of Ty Hertz. Last second conversation, and you have to say, sophomore, young man, this one is now on you. Bring us home.
Let's just go play the game, right?
Yeah.
Like, you can't put too much on a quarterback who's inexperienced and tell him that kind of stuff. Just tell him to go play the game. Go hand the ball off. Go make some throws. We got 3:07 left. You got a lot of time to move down this field.
Two wide receivers, either side, as tight formation for Vermillion. Shotgun formation for Hertz. They're going to hand it off to Lacaniata. Lacaniata trying to find some space. Cuts it up to the 20 and make it second down and 6.
And I think we'll see a lot of that, Heath. I really do. I think you'll see him either short passes or a lot of Lacaniata. We're going to see them put this on the back of the senior running back who hasn't had to carry a team yet this year. Now they're going to put it on his back and try to use this clock and march down the field.
Two wide receivers to the near side, 25-20. Now a quick little pass over to Jack Kratz over the middle, makes a nice reception, then cuts it upfield just like he needed to, and picks up the first down. Vermillion, the offense, does need to continue to move quickly as they're going to spot it at the 27-yard line, and now a penalty flag that I missed sitting at the 31.
I think this is going to be on Lennox for something after the play. I think it's going to be an unsportsmanlike on Lennox. We've seen one against Vermillion, and now we just got one against Lennox, and Lennox just gifted Vermillion 15 yards. So you cannot do that at this point in the game. It looks like 23 is the guy who's frustrated with whatever happened. He's pleading his case over to his coaches, but whatever happened, you can't do it. You can't put yourself in that position. You've just given Vermillion now the 42-yard line and the first down with 2.5 minutes to go, and they're down by 5.
We've seen 39 points in the first half, just 6 in this second half. Everybody for Vermillion is huddled except for Reese Profrock, who is standing by himself at the numbers near side. Two wide receivers of Kratz and Saunders off the far side. Hurts shotgun formation, first down and 10, ball at the 42. The blitz is on. Hurts scrambles out. Now he's going to look downfield, try to get to Connor Saunders, as it looked like maybe Kratz thought should keep going upfield, or at least Ty Hurts thought he should, but falls incomplete.
Well, and that was, I think it was just Ty Hurts trying to throw the ball on the run, and you have Saunders cutting inside the numbers, and that ball drifted more towards the sideline. So he has to, as a young quarterback, you have to be able to set your feet and deliver a good football. You don't need the home run here. 2:14 left. You have 3 timeouts. That's like a day and a half. And it's second down and 10. They took your shot now. Now Vermillion has to get positive yards here.
And when you say a day and a half, and across the state of South Dakota, I think almost every score has gone final except for this one inside the Dakota Dome. The blitz is on. It's going to be a quick wide receiver over to Connor Saunders. He's trying to tell his blockers to get upfield and hit somebody as he sorts his way through the mess. He's able to cut up to the 45, just a gain of 3 yards. He'll keep that clock moving, now under 2 minutes, making it 3rd down and 7. Again, ball is going to be marked at the 45-yard line. There'll be 2 wide receivers, Kratz and Profrock the near side. Saunders all by himself on the far side. Shotgun formation for Hurts, standing at the 40. He shouts out a couple commands. The blitz is on. It's going to be picked up, and then it's going to be blown by as a big sack comes in for Lennox. As they needed that one, it's Jacob Stubby able to get in the backfield and make it 4th down and long.
Yeah, that's unfortunate because that wasn't even a blitzer who got through there.
Yep.
That was a defensive lineman, and you've got to be able to seal off your blocks and make something happen. Now, Vermillion looks like they're going to punt it away with 1:12 and the clock rolling. They're going to punt it away in hopes that they can use timeouts and get a turnover deep in their own deep in the other territory.
4th down and 14. It's going to be a clean snap, and now it's going to be a fake. I wonder if we might see this, and it's going to be a low pass into the ground. And it's going to be a turnover on down.
Yeah, Connor Saunders running the fake. He was trying to throw it to Lakinyata. That one wouldn't have mattered. That play wasn't going to work to that option because he was about 6 yards short of the line to gain. So that wasn't going to work. 55 seconds remain. Vermillion has 3 timeouts. They have to get a 3-and-out and either force Lennox to go for it on 4th down, punt it and play field position, or to try to kick a field goal and go up by 8. But the defense needs to stop now.
3 timeouts for Vermillion. We're going to see them all be used. Lennox, they just need 10 yards. That's all they need to do and put the postseason hopes for Vermillion to bed. It's going to be a handoff to Ty Spurler, trying to find his way, and it's going to be read nicely by Vermillion as Ty gets to the 38, the original line of scrimmage. Andy Holman quickly onto the field to use his first timeout.
Yeah, and that's what you got to do. You got to just make the plays and see what happens here at the end, because that's what Lennox has to do. Run the football. I don't care if they get any yards or first downs. You have to force Vermillion to use the timeouts right now. If you get a first down, it ices it, right? But you have to force Vermillion to use all of its timeouts right now on this defensive possession.
Ty Spurler has just ran the football 10 carries for 25 yards, just under 200 rushing yards on this season for him. It has been really done by Brandon Fudness, the quarterback who can throw it, he can run it, and if you wonder, might draw something up for Lennox. But again, Vermillion uses their first timeout. Clock reads 47.5 in the Dakota Dome. Lennox leads it 25-20 over Vermillion. 2nd down and 10. Ball at the 38-yard line. As they'll now put 1 in motion. Let the motion go all the way through. They're going to hand it off, and Vermillion on the big blitz as Jack Kratz is able to easily get into the backfield, blow that one up for a loss of a yard, and make it now 3rd and 11. And Jack Kratz has to get a cramp worked out as well.
Yeah, it kicked in right away. When he came in and made that tackle, he was just kind of dangling his leg out there. Vermillion used the timeout, which means Kratz does not have to come out for a play, which would be the case had Vermillion not used the timeout and they stopped it for the injury. But they're still dealing with cramps right now as they try to stretch it out. Cale Mockler working on it, the trainer working on it. Cale finally walks away and says, all right, dude, figure it out on your own. Oh, man.
Charlie Ward went down with an injury in this fourth quarter. It looked like it was some sort of knee injury. Did walk off on his own power, but we have not seen him since. So hopefully, just not even for football, but throughout his next season he has coming up, a big basketball player as well. You hope that he is okay and that he can be back for basketball season. If Vermillion can make this comeback yet with 45 seconds, be even back ready for next week. But just hopefully he is okay. Kratz, my goodness, this is some kind of cramp.
Yeah, they're working on it. By the way, your Eagles are down 14-10 to the Giants.
I don't want to hear
it's
that.
in the third quarter. I got to tell you about this play, though. Daniel Jones ran a quarterback run. They had like their own 5 or 10 yard line. Okay, he's running free. There's nobody to stop Daniel Jones, and I think he just ran out of gas because he went tumbling inside the 20. Now the Giants ended up scoring on the drive, but it was a fun play, and that'll be on a. That'll be on highlights later that are on the Not Sports Center or Not Top 10 list, so make sure to check that out.
I don't want to.
But that wasn't your guy, so it's okay.
25-20, 45 seconds, third down 11. Fudness is going to roll out. He's got some space, and he's going to get up to the 30. He needs to get to the 28. He's knocked out of bounds, and the official on the far sideline is going to say it's at the 27. That's 12 yards and enough for a first down for Lennox and put this one to bed in the season for Vermillion.
Yep, they'll just have to run one more play and take a knee, and that should do it here in this one and close the season. A tough way to lose for Vermillion coming off of a huge win last week, and certainly had some opportunities here in this football game.
They needed everything to go right, including them to win. Everything went right except for them winning. As Lennox will take a knee, and the clock will just roll away.
That was weird. I know it won't matter at this point, but the quarterback took a knee before he got the snap. He did. He thought he was taking the snap, but he was going to a knee. But that ball never came, and he was already down to a knee before the ball snapped.
Everybody on their feet for both teams, for Lennox and for Vermillion. As again, Vermillion, they needed to win to keep their postseason hopes alive. They needed Custer to lose. That happened. They needed Dakota Valley to win. That happened. But Lennox comes inside the Dakota Dome and takes down Vermillion tonight, getting the victory 25-20 over the Vermillion Tanagers. That doesn't finish up our season. Our first Dakota National Bank post-game show comes up here in 2 minutes on ESPN 1015 AM 1570 and online at kvtk.com. Don't go anywhere. We'll have a final look around scores from the state of South Dakota and much more on the way next.
If you're considering a new roof, you want to put your roof in the hands of Dave's Roofing. Dave's Roofing specializes in residential roofing and has over 10 years of experience. Dave's Roofing covers any job from a 60 to 80 mile radius of Sioux City and has a 10-man crew that completes most jobs in one day. Dave's Roofing will make sure the cleanup job is done right afterwards too. And the products installed are impact rated and eligible for homeowners insurance discounts. Look up Dave's Roofing on Facebook and check out the work that's been done and customer testimonials.
So we're buying a bigger home.
A 4-bedroom, but, with room to grow.
Your ocular cavity is malfunctioning.
Because we want kids.
Calculating offspring life insurance.
No, wait. We only have a cat.
Calculating farm insurance.
Is there somebody else who can help us?
Only a human who knows you can create a plan that's right for you. That's why for 80 years we've built relationships first and plans second. It's your future. Let's protect it.
Contact Farm Bureau Agent Debbie Profrock in Vermillion at 605-624-3011.
Digital Solutions started a little over 6 years ago doing Facebook Live videos for a couple ball games. And little did we know we'd have the 2020 pandemic and so many reasons for doing live streams on our new YouTube channel. We have 12 schools we cover: Mississippi, South Dakota, and Iowa. And we're always growing. If you're interested in working with FDS as camera operator or play-by-play for the many sports we cover, or if you would like to use our services to live stream your event, email us at fullerdigitalsolutions@gmail.com and subscribe to Fuller Digital Solutions on YouTube.
Back inside the Dakota Dome as this one goes final tonight. Lennox gets the win over the Vermillion Tanagers 25-20, and that will wrap up the season for Vermillion, finishing 2-6 as Andy Homan still in the huddle talking to his team right now in the end zone, and it's a tough conversation as a crazy first half that was put together. John, you mentioned a back and forth game, but did you expect just 6 points in that second half? I mean, that is all that we saw, and unfortunate for Vermillion, not enough.
Well, I think you got to credit both coaching staffs. I mean, both of these coaching staffs made adjustments in the second half, and that's what helped limit point opportunities. And I thought Vermillion, had opportunities, and really unfortunate for a number of reasons that Charlie Ward went out with an injury, but you really felt like, maybe if he had been in there instead of Ty Hertz, and that's not a knock on Ty Hertz. No. It's simply that he's a quarterback that is very inexperienced, and had you had your experienced leader out there in Charlie Ward, would things have been different down the stretch? It's hard to know one way or the other, but certainly you would have liked to see them both finish at full strength, and unfortunately that didn't happen for either side because Charlie Ward came out of the game, and then the Alt young man, he came out of the game for Lennox and never returned. So really tough and disappointing loss for Vermillion. A game fought hard, and we knew this would be a good football game, and it was. And unfortunately, the difference, you look at this, Heath, the difference on the scoreboard is that Lennox took care of Vermillion turnovers. And at the end of the day, Vermillion set Lennox up in good spots, and Vermillion cashed in on those opportunities, and they just kind of gifted them some points, and that's going to be the toughest part to swallow for this football team.
It definitely will be a tough part as Vermillion continues to right now, as you can see on the camera, and everyone out there on the radio continue to be in the end zone, hugging, and of course maybe a few tears out there for some seniors, as this one is always hard to walk away. High school football, again, we know it's just a high school football game, but it means so much to these young men and what they have put into their time with this Vermillion Tanager program. We talked about it last week with head coach Andy Homan and how he saw just such a slight turnover once again this year when it comes to seniors. Not a whole lot of seniors that are going to be lost, but it's a lot like last year. Some pretty big seniors that are going to be lost with this team, and it's again, a tough situation for them. And again, we look at these seniors. You talk about Connor Saunders and the role he played on offense and being special teams. Tyson Haig on the defensive side. He grew up so much. I really think Tyson and Cale Mockler combined, we wondered so much of how they're going to replace Kobe Culver at the defensive line going into this year, and those two young men really stepped up. They put him on his own island, Bryce Stockwell, what he was able to do as a cornerback and just playing strictly defense, but then coming in with special teams, it seemed like he always had a blocked extra point, a block punt. He was always there making the big plays. And as I mentioned, Kel Mockler going on and just kind of being that big leader and vocal leader this season and what he was able to do. Hunter Lavin missing kind of that first part of the season as he has the past couple of years because of not only injury this year, but having other things going on with participating in other activities. John Lacaniana, the big running back himself, saw kind of time switching on and off with Jeremy Crow this season in the running back game at the very beginning. But even tonight, we saw him really take this one over in the third and fourth quarter, and just a very, very impressive performance. And we talk about a lot of special guys when it comes to big playmakers, but something that does return is a lot of the offensive and defensive line, a quarterback that is going to return for the Vermillion Tanagers, a lot of key pieces that are going to return next year. Again, just 7 seniors leaving for Vermillion. Last year it was just 6, a combined 13 in the past 2 years, and look forward to another exciting season of Vermillion football next year. But this one ends on a kind of a bitter note as they fall to Lennox tonight, 25-20. Let's take another quick break. We'll see if we can catch up with Andy Homan here on the First Dakota National Bank post-game show. That's on the way here on ESPN 1015 AM 1570 and online at kvtk.com. Don't go anywhere. Plenty more coming up here on the post-game show.
Are you looking for a new way to promote your business or organization in 2020? If you aren't checking out Thread Inc. in downtown Vermillion, you are missing out.
Our radio family is growing. Now you can listen to all of the Vermillion Tanagers broadcast on 2 stations, 1015 FM and AM 1570. When the Tanagers are playing, tune in to either 101.5 FM or AM 1570 to catch the voice of the Tanagers, Keith Nimke, for every play. In addition, we invite you to listen to all of our ESPN programming. We thank you for listening and our radio sponsors that allow us to broadcast all of the Vermillion Tanager sports on ESPN 1015 FM and AM 1570.
Midwest Ready Mix Equipment for Vermillion.
We rent out and operate dozers, excavators. We also have aerial equipment.
Dave Hertz, Midwest Ready Mix.
We got telehandlers, payloaders, skid loaders, just a lot of different equipment that we rent and we
Midwest Ready Mix Equipment for Vermillion.
We rent out and operate dozers, excavators. We also have aerial equipment.
Dave Hertz, Midwest Ready Mix.
We got telehandlers, payloaders, skid loaders, just a lot of different equipment that we rent and we sell it too. And you can rent to buy. And you end up having it for 6 months. We'll give you a buyout option on that thing.
Call Dave Hertz, Midwest Ready Mix and Equipment, Vermillion. Easy to work with and not hard to find.
It's the Vermillion Tanager postgame show on ESPN 1015 AM 1570 and online at kvtk.com as tonight Vermillion falls to Lennox 25-20. And here on the postgame show, joined with Andy Homan. And Coach Homan, I can tell this is definitely not the way we wanted to end the season, and just a tough game tonight. This one definitely tough to swallow for the Tanagers.
Yeah, it was one of those where we knew they'd come out fighting. They're kind of in the same position we are, and now they might end up making it in the playoffs here too. So came out, we had a touchdown at the end there that put us up and had a penalty on it that came back, and we just couldn't get things going again.
Yeah, unfortunate, as you mentioned, that one penalty that ultimately cost the game for the Vermillion Tanagers. But there's other things that we look at in this game tonight and what all happened with it. And you have to look back at some turnovers in that first quarter that really might have been the big difference maker in tonight's action as well.
Yeah, you know, if we coming into this game, if you would have told me that Saunders and Kratz would have fumbled, I wouldn't have believed you. One of those, they just kind of got us here. They were coming down and got the ball and popped out of our hands. I mean, Lennox is an aggressive team, and we talked pregame that Coach Luzzi does a great job of having them coached up, and they were coming and they wanted that ball.
We saw an injury as well to Charlie Ward. Got up on his own. Looked like he was kind of limping a little bit. What can you tell us that injury about?
Well, I mean, that's what forced us to bring in our sophomore backup that hasn't seen any action yet this year. And he came in, he did a really good job, you know. And it was one of the things at the end of the game when I pulled out our swinging gate just to try to get some momentum going. And we had to get a few good plays there. And at the end, kind of why I called the punt the way I did, I wanted it in a senior's hand trying to throw it to somebody than having our sophomore trying to get it when he was kind of good. They're starting to bring pressure on him, and you could see it was kind of phasing him a little bit.
And hopefully Charlie Ward is okay. And as I said, just a tough loss. I saw that of course, down there, final conversation is always tough. What does this one mean to your team? I was kind of highlighting a little bit ago the 7 seniors and what they did for your team.
I mean, like every year the seniors we've had, they've always bring a lot. They're not big in numbers, but they always bring everything they have all the time. And to have a game like this and the situation that we're in and kind of having where we didn't have that game, and I mean, it kind of got a raw deer at the end here where we just didn't get it done, and we were that close. I told them not to hang their heads. They can be proud of their season. Yeah, our record's not what we wanted, but they were in every game except one. I mean, they fought hard. We were right there towards the end, and it just came down to a lot of times where we're playing guys both ways and get tired, and we just don't have it there, or we make some mistakes that kind of hurt us.
Now, I'm not for sure when it comes down to seed points and everything that's going to fall, but I know there is still an opportunity as that flex seed and maybe having an opportunity to yet still make the postseason as that number 9. What do you know about that, and what kind of have you heard so far?
In order for that, it was kind of a lot of different things had to happen. Now, Belfouche did win, so that obviously is in our favor. But being Lennox was right there behind us, I mean, they could easily, maybe we do sneak into that 9. It's one of those things where now we got to wait to see how everything plays out at the end of the night, just sit and watch the scoreboard and see what they come up with tonight.
Are you still going to continue practice? What does move forward now if that does happen with a flex seed?
Basically, I just told the guys to be on standby. I mean, if we are on that number 9, possibly could play, then, yeah, we'll still practice next week. I mean, you don't want to just sit and wait and then make, oh, yeah, hey, you guys need to play, and then all of a sudden we're going to throw stuff together. So we'll have practice next week still if we end up being in that 9 seed.
Enjoy practice. And, Coach, I hope to have another conversation with you, all right?
I hope so, too. Thanks for everything this year.
There he is. Andy Homan here on our post-game show. We'll step aside and be back with more action here on ESPN.
Make space for tall items. Quickly and easily move the bins side to side for convenient storage options. The Flexi Slide Bin, brought to you by Whirlpool.
Pump up your car, coolers, and tummy with Pump and Pack in Vermillion. Whether you're coming or going, we are here for you when you need us with what you need. Grocery items, beer, snacks, fuel, wine, hot dogs, pizza by the slice, and now for real ice cream smoothies and shakes, cookie dough, strawberry banana, and even mocha latte. We are open when you need us 24 hours a day with what you need at Pump and Pack on West Cherry Street in Vermillion.
Vermillion Medical Clinic has an ongoing mission to provide areas with quality health care and convenient access to medical professionals. Our patients at Vermillion Medical Clinic value our dedicated primary care physicians, compassionate PAs, and consistently scheduled outreach specialty care. If you have health questions, need a screening, or have medical concerns for yourself or family members, call us for an appointment or visit VermillionMedicalClinic.com. So much care, so close to home.
Tanger football on ESPN 101.5 AM 1570 and online at kvtk.com. This is the First Dakota National Bank post-game show as tonight Lennox gets the win over Vermillion 25-20 as now we await what will be the postseason seedings and points and what will all happen. Again, Vermillion does still have that chance to get into the postseason as a flex seed, but have to depend on where they fall in seed points. And John, as we saw throughout this season, and Andy Holman mentioned it, they were always in it, but it just, at the end, never really seemed to fall the way for the Tangers.
Yeah, and honestly, like we've talked about this many, many times, they did this, a lot of this themselves. You just got to be able to hang on to the football. And then Lennox fumbled the ball twice, and they were in spots where you thought maybe Vermillion could get it, and unfortunately, they were not able to get on the football. And those could have been fumbles that changed the result of this game. So things just bounced the way of Lennox tonight. Sometimes that's the way it goes, but you have to create your opportunities, and unfortunately, it wasn't in the cards tonight for the Tanagers on this really tough loss.
Get the chance to cover some high school football this season, and John, do we think would be here at this point in this season with COVID and everything that happened?
Well, I did. I thought there was a good chance, and the reason is because you're not dealing with a lot of travel, right? These are short trips, and, you hope everybody's being smart, and we've seen a lot of people be smart throughout the course of this pandemic, and we've seen games canceled. You lose one here or there, but, for Vermillion, look at them. They fought through the pandemic. They lost one game to it, and that was the Bennett County game. It's hard to know how that would have played into their role of trying to get in the playoffs and whatnot, but I thought we would be here. I thought a lot of people would do enough work that they understand high school sports, a big thing to everybody. It's a huge thing in the state of South Dakota, and really, really happy that we made it to the end of the year.
Definitely happy that we did make it to this end of the year, and as you mentioned, get 8 games in for the Vermillion Tanagers. They finished their season at 2-6, and again, they have a chance at being that flex seed, but John, you also get that opportunity to come back into high school football. A long-time broadcaster for the Yankton Bucks. How exciting was it to be with the Vermillion Tanagers this season?
Well, it was fun to see, something else and a different class. And, we saw some good things. And I thought, we saw a lot of good football out of Vermillion. Unfortunately, it just wasn't enough.
Unfortunately, it's not. As, again, the Tanagers fall 25-20. Keep it tuned to Classic Hits and ESPN Radio, as tomorrow we'll have all the updates on where the Vermillion Tanagers will fall in this final season, the regular season game, and what it comes to looking like their postseason, if they can grab that flex seed spot and have a chance at still making it into the postseason. Again, a team would have to fall because of COVID-19, and we don't want to wish that upon anybody. Big thanks to John Thayer joining me all season long. Aaron Dodd back at the studio helping us out throughout this season. I'm Heath Nimke, and all season long you've been listening to Tanager Football on ESPN 101.5 AM 1570 and online kvtk.com.